I'm right there with you, Wayne.
Hello, lovely people. I caught that. I got that on camera. It's now immortalized.
Oh boy.
Hi, everybody. We are Some Other Heroes. How are we all doing? It is Sunday. It's a Some Other Heroes Sunday. Welcome to our D&D stream set in a world of skyships, floating islands, deep magic, and apparently very big bugs. With me are four amazing players who will introduce themselves. But before that, my name is Chris. I use he, him. I have the absolute honour of being the story weaver and DM for this game. And I welcome you. Come and join our queer dungeoneers, our gay geeks, and our wonderful, wonderful nerds as we roll dice and tell some stories. So, do you want to meet our players? Here with me this week, starting with Wayne, I think.
Hi, everybody. I am Wayne. My pronouns are he, him. And I will be playing the small and shy dragonborn Rock today as we tackle tiny millipedes.
Nice try.
Lovely, wonderful. Theo, would you like to go next, please?
Yes, hello, I'm Theo. I use they, them pronouns, and I will be playing the awkward wizard, Eugene.
Amazing. And Charlie.
Hi, I am Charlie. I use she, her pronouns, and I am playing the, I'm going to be honest this time, slightly chaotic and disorganized, but adorable and tart with a heart, Ashley.
That's amazing. I love tart with a heart.
You forgot cheese fiend.
Cheese fiend.
Cheese fiend. Cheese fiend.
And last but definitely not least, our very special guest back for the second week, Jay.
Hello, I am Tall Squall, and I am playing Fulton Stump, our sort of stoic, full-bog druid. And other assorted things here in the forest.
Amazing. Before we jump back into our story, I just wanted to do a couple of shout-outs and a little bit of admin. I'm just going to change the music as well, something a little bit darker and more mysterious, I think, for now. First off, I would like to shout out our wonderful mods, Bespectacled Man and Feline Trickster. If you see them in the chat, they are there to help out and to just keep things flowing so that we can concentrate on the game. They are wonderful people, but they carry very, very big hammers, and they are not afraid to use them.
Fuck around and find out.
If you are at any point in time unsure of what the rules of our chat is, you would have all had to click into them to get in, but you can put !rules and it will bring them up for the chat. It is no problem for that. We are a safe space for marginalised and particularly queer people of all kinds, and so we just like to foster a nice environment where everybody feels comfortable. Second, a bit more cheerful. Sorry about the laying down the law, but we would like to give a shout out to not one, but two amazing fellow D&D TTRPG groups who we absolutely adore. The first of which is, this week I'm going to do Wicked Game first. Currently on a December hiatus from their main campaign, which is set in a school of wizardry and heroic adventure.
It's good so we can catch our breath then.
Yeah, I know. High drama. But instead they're doing different weekly content. Last week was a romance game. But check them out at Wicked Game RPG, wherever your media is socialed, to find out what they are up to. Second, you like cake, don't you, people? You like Dungeons and Dragons?
Cake.
No, I like the first one. The second one.
Well, how about you combine those two things and join our friends Dice and a Slice for some piratical adventures in a world set with ancient gods and strange mysteries. They are in the middle of their second season at the moment. It's really good, really exciting. I actually need to catch up myself, but I have been loving it so much. They are wonderful people as well. You might have heard some familiar voices on their recent Halloween special. Somebody you might know. I don't know.
Some beautiful, sultry, powerful voices. I don't know.
They are wherever you can find your podcast. Just look for Dice and a Slice, or check them out on the socials, which Wayne has helpfully activated in our chat. Right, I think that's it. Oh, just a reminder, this is our last streamed game for the year, but we are back next week with a special fireside chat where these three people, our three regular players, get to pick my brains about what's going on, and I can evade answers. You guys can ask both myself and the rest of the cast any questions you want, and we can tell you what we can tell you. Keep an eye on our socials. We're going to be posting out again. We've got a couple of questions, some really good questions, some meaty questions come in, all the important things.
I have one. How do we win?
I'll tell you later. Yeah, so keep an eye out. Pop your questions in. We'll try and get through as many as we can whilst we are streaming. Should be very chilled out and a lot of fun. We're looking forward to it. Cool. So, should we play some Dungeons and Dragons, lovely people?
Okay.
Yeah, go on then.
So,
I'm scared.
You're scared. Last we left our heroes, they have adventured across to Dakland, the royal and most ancient nation in the Scattered Lands, to the small town of Malwind. From there, they have been requested to investigate a strange mystical temple that appeared around the same time of the strange skyquake that they were involved with. Evidence seems to point this is the first of the mystical sky temples they have been looking for. They were introduced to a guide, a very stoic and quite frightening at times Fearbolg called Fulton, who has guided them through and introduced them to, scary in a different way, his boss, Sib, the Archdruid, a wizened old woman who seems to know a little bit more about everything that's going on than she dares share with these three. Having spent a night resting, they have been delving deeper into the forest, well on their way to the temple, having to avoid deadly fox traps and occasional wild beasts that more or less interested in them as prey than as people.
Yeah, they weren't asking what our signs were, that's for sure.
Very close now to where they need to be, only a couple of hours out. They have found themselves on a strange, large bridge of wood made from the branches and entwined roots of some of the trees that make up the floating forest itself. As they started to cross, Eugene was nearly attacked by a large, ferocious-looking, draconic creature, not unlike the one that the three met a few weeks ago at the Carnival of Curiosities.
Oh boy.
Before the beast could do any harm, however, a large insectoid head burst out of the mist, catching this draconic creature, throwing it up in the air and biting down hard, swallowing it whole. You are now face to face with a huge millipede covered in roots and moss, and every time it breathes, there's this little puffs of fog cloud that come out of it, which is you imagine is where this fog is coming from. It does not look like it was satiated with that dragon creature. So I would like you all to roll initiative.
Damn it! I was hoping this was going to be a Jurassic Park T-Rex situation.
Yeah. Oh,
I'll
great.
save you, adventurers.
Cool. So those of you doing Roll20 on various machines and things, if I have some fog effects going on the...
Nice.
let me know if it's too much or it's causing any sort of lag or anything. Please let me know, because I can always take it off. It's not a problem.
So far, so good.
Cool.
Yep, works for me.
This
Yep.
beautiful map created by Eightfold Paper. You can find it
pretty.
on Roll20. Yep. And does help to go onto the right screen. Excellent. Right.
All right.
Okie dokie. So, if everybody would like to roll, including myself.
I did. It was not good.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no. If you would like to jiggle yourselves around, I've kind of put you roughly where I thought you were, but please do feel free to move yourselves.
I assumed Fulton was sort of in the lead.
Oh yeah, that would
the
make sense.
being the guidey type.
I'm gonna go here.
Cool. Right. Let us start. Has anybody got over 20?
Yep.
Well, that's a great start, guys. That's wonderful. It's okay.
It's really optimistic of you
Fast.
to ask that question.
Fast is not always best.
Sometimes fast dies first.
Yep. 15 to 20.
16.
16.
16 for Fulton as well.
Excellent.
Hey.
What are your respective dexterities?
My dexterity is only 12 plus 1.
Ooh. Mine's a 14.
So Rock goes first.
Yes,
Blimey.
dex is not his thing. His points are elsewhere.
Amazing. 15 to 10.
Oh boy.
Oh no. And 10 down to 5?
I got a 7. Oh no.
And Eugene.
5 for me.
5 on the nose. Okay.
Oh boy.
Got distracted by pretty leaves.
I think.
I mean, I did almost get eaten, so.
I feel like
That's
narratively, yeah, for the initiative section of like getting ready is Eugene backing up.
Oh god, oh god, oh god.
Eugene's good out here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys go.
Awesome.
I just need a minute.
Right, so you may or may not like this, but the Milipede goes first.
Of course it does.
Why would we like that? Oh please, sir, after you.
It takes a look at the prey that it has now found, and it kind of... I'm just going to adjust something, because you should be able to... see something that you can't see at the moment.
What, the giant millipede?
You should also be able to see. There we go.
Oh.
A lovely
So-
aura.
To explain,
Oh.
it is exuding this fog which surrounds it at all times. As soon as its head disappears back into the cloud, you can sort of make its shape out, but you can't make it out as clearly as when it came out to sort of attack. Mechanically, it just kind of adds something to its armor class. But first of all, it heaves a huge puff, and this area thickens with this like miasmic cloud, and it will hide. So I'll leave it where it was, because that's the last... You can hear it moving around, but that was the last place you saw it.
Okay.
Awesome. Rock, you are up next.
Okay, good, great. Okay, let's see. Where's my measuring stick? Okie dokie. So the first thing I will do is I am going to bollocks. Yeah, so I am going to throw up my.
That's it.
I'm going to throw up my breakfast and leave. So I'm going to move next to Fulton, and then I am going to unsheath my dancing rapier, and it will immediately shoot 30 feet forward
Amazing.
towards the creature,
Yep. Perfect.
and it will attack.
You can make that attack, but would you do it at disadvantage, please?
Why?
Because you can't see it clearly in the fog.
I mean, the sword doesn't have to see it.
But you still need to aim it.
Damn it. Okay, attack. That's that. Oh, no, that's not good. Sorry. It's all right. So it's 17 or with disadvantage.
17 with disadvantage.
Yeah.
Amazingly, you hear a thunk and something seems to connect. Roll me the damage.
Awesome. 17. Okay. Dancing rapier. That would be 6 points of damage.
Nice.
And that is my bonus action. And for my action, sorry.
No, you're fine.
For my action,
I just threw a huge insect at bug
Indeed.
at you, so panic is allowed.
Okay, so that's what I'm gonna do. Let me just check that distance on that one. Okay, so my rapier would be where the creature is, correct?
Roughly where the creature is, yeah.
Yeah, as far as I can see. If I want to cast a spell, would that be a disadvantage to see it, or can I see it at all?
Or what type? If you're casting an area effect, you just choose a space, and that's where the spell attacks. If you're using something that has a spell attack, then that's a disadvantage.
Okay. So. Oh, God. Okay, I am going to try and dissonant whispers it.
Ooh, nice. That's a wisdom saving throw?
It is indeed.
See how wise this bug is.
Well, as I promised you earlier, I am DMing today, so I'm rolling as expected. That was a grand total of 4.
Oh, okay. Cool. So that is. Oh, sorry. I'm having problems with the sheet as well.
No problem.
Going very well.
Yeah, we're in no rush for it to be our turn. So.
Okay, so
Yeah, I have no idea what I'm doing, so you take your time.
That's why you read. That's why you rolled a natural 20, but you're like, I'm playing a wizard. I want to be last.
yeah, totally. So that is a 3, and a 4. So that's 10 points of damage.
Nice.
Of psychic damage.
Yep.
And it must immediately use its reaction, if available, to move as far as its speed allows away from us.
Bye.
Okay.
Bye, Felicia.
Yeah. It climbs up.
No.
I mean, that's a way, I guess.
It moves. I think it's fair to it moves 30 feet upwards. So it climbs round here, and I think it goes 15 feet up this tree branch. And the fog moves with it. And you can just about make out your sword where it's hovering
Okay.
from the outer edge.
And I think that is it. That's all I can do. I think my my free action would be to look at Fulton and just go, "What the hell is that?"
He just looks back and goes, "Trouble."
Good.
Fulton, you would know that the Firbolg named these creatures Kirikari.
It's Kirikari. It's trouble.
So, Fulton, you are next. Ashling, you're on after.
Okay.
So, quick question.
Yes.
And we're getting down to parsing of words, but I've always thought of this as a creature that I'm aware of. It does specifically say a creature that you can see, but I would like to cast Compel Duel on this. It's like we're aware that it is there, and it is a saving throw, not a attack roll. So I'll leave it to you whether that is okay.
So it's obscured. It's not invisible, if that makes sense. So
Okay.
you roughly know where the creature is in terms of shape. It's harder to hit, but you know that there is a big amorphous dark form in the fog there that you can compel.
So for flavor, it actually doesn't happen in this order, but because hey, we're telling a story here, you see Fulton look after he replies to Rock, look in the direction of the creature. He B-shapes into this Malwind jaguar, this sort of big wicker feline, just horrific looking feline creature covered with sort of heavy bark and vines that make up sort of this natural armor on its skin, and lets out this just huge bestial roar of challenge to it as I cast Compel Duel as my action, my bonus action being the wild shape, and for movement, you just see him clawing in and running up the tree. He has 40 feet of movement.
Nice. I am going to give you your Jaguar token.
Oh, nice.
I've nicked something else for it, but that is okay.
Pretty.
I need to cite the artists, but I'll find out that, make sure that they're in our text later.
That's gorgeous.
But yes, you should have full control of that. Let me know if you
Sure do.
Yep, awesome.
And I don't think I can make it quite to the creature, but let's see. Oh, looks like I get right there.
Amazing. It is 15 feet up, so you're aware. But I think with your it's got a pounce ability, so if you want to add that in for flavor, I'll say you can definitely attack.
Oh yeah, let's go ahead and do the pounce. Actually, I believe though, the problem is I've already used my action, so I can pounce. I can't attack, but I can, if you don't mind me using the pounce to get right up against this critter, because my action is already burned to actually do the attack. But with the 40 feet and you just see this huge leap, and you just lands in front of it, kind of hanging off of one of these branches of the tree, just growling at it in this sort of horrific sort of attack stance.
Love it.
Standing between the creature and the Kirikari. That was the name of it. The Kirikari and his charges.
Perfect. I love that. That's brilliant. Thank you so much. Right, so it has to attack you on its turn.
Yep, or disadvantage against anyone other than me.
Amazing. So, Aisling, what would you like to do?
I am going to. I'm going to move to like the. Oh shit! Wrong button. I'm going to move to the edge of the fog line, and pretty much just cast armor on myself and be ready for when I can do anything. Because right now I'm just like, oh god, it's gone. Okay.
Remember to warn Eugene that he's not to hit you.
Oh, I give Eugene a look before I run off. I'm already looking a bit frosty, and I'm just like, don't. All right? Remember?
What?
Too late. Too late. I'm gone.
Cool. So you cast Amber of Agathis on yourself.
Yes, please. And yeah, I haven't really got much for my bonus, so I'll leave it at that. It is at 4th level, which is quite nice. Yeah. Warlock!
God. Isn't that how Eugene died? Was the 4th level one?
That's.
It's fine.
Yep.
Eugene.
Okay. Right.
Fireball.
I can't. Fulton's there.
Fulton will dodge. Fine.
Also, we're on a tree, so I'm pretty sure
yeah.
it's a bad idea.
Probably
Okay.
not a great idea.
No fireball.
Yeah.
No
I
fireball.
considered it. Don't worry.
I mean, ironically, the fire druids are the ones that get the most pissy about it because they're like, "This is our job."
Sorry. What I was going to do, I am no longer going to do. So just
That
give me
is
1
fine.
second.
Yeah, no problem at all. Kind of interesting. I think even with the fog, you guys are struck by how much like part of the trees and vines this thing looks like. This is quite definitely probably the largest stealth predator any of you have seen.
Okay, what I'm going to do is I am going to first of all use. Wait, let me see if I can do this as a bonus action. Yes, I'm going to use my reaction to cast through my Gadlock Signet of Sky Stepping from Skier.
Perfect.
I'm going to cast Fly on myself.
Oh, just as a reminder, remember we've still got a d6 from the bedroll.
Oh, yeah.
Well remembered.
Thank you.
Because I didn't remember that. Let's give you some angel wings. So you are flying.
Yes, and I am going to fly over here. And I will cast... I'm going to cast Maximilian's Earthen Grasp.
Cool.
Just right next to the Millipede? Centipede? Millipede.
Milipede.
Cool. For flavour, what does your Maximilian's or Eugene's earthen grasp look like?
So you see a huge sort of portal open on the bark of the tree, like kind of sparking purple edges, and then out from it, just this huge, like, earthen fist comes rising out of it, like glowing runes all over, and it attempts to grab the millipede.
Very nice.
So I need a strength saving throw.
Cool. Yep. I'm just going to pop this on there for you, so you know where it is.
Your hand looks so small.
Control by. Bear with me 1 second. I forgot you had the spell, so I haven't prepared for it.
Yeah,
I mean,
need
it's
a while,
difficult to prepare for all of the wizard spells.
Strength saving throw. Yeah. It is 18.
Yeah, it saves.
It's very big. It kind of. I do feel like this hand is still holding on, but you're kind of seeing it stretch as this millipede kind of twists on itself. Amazing. So that is top of the round. Is there anything else you want to do with your go?
There is nothing else I can do.
Amazing. Good go, though. I do love that spell. Top of the round, Millipede is no longer frightened of rock. Is, however, seeing the tasty-looking jaguar that's kind of inviting it to bite him. Doesn't understand why it's inviting it to bite him, but will do so. So it will make 2 bite attacks. 1 bite attack against you, sorry, and 1 slam, which You are the nearest thing to it, Fulton, so it will unfortunately pick on you for this particular
That's
instance.
the point.
Okay, so the bite is 27 to hit,
Oh yeah, that will hit.
and the slam is 17 to hit.
17 will hit as well.
Okie dokie.
On the jaguar.
Yep. So I'm going to do the damage from the slam first. As his tail just bashes into you, nearly squashes you against a tree, doing. Okay, yeah, doing 16 points of bludgeoning damage,
Okay.
and then you find that these spines are sticking into the side of you, and
Okay.
that they do an additional 7 points of acid damage.
Gotcha.
I don't know if you're...
Additional 7, you said?
yeah, acid damage. I don't
Okay.
know if they have any immunities to that sort of thing.
Nope.
Okie dokie.
Let me just double check. Nope.
No worries. So the bite does you 31 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
Brutal.
And you are considered grappled as it
Okay.
holds you there. Yeah, this guy not happy.
I really don't want to get bit.
So, purpose served. You see as it bites down on the jaguar, you see Fulton return to his normal form, and I would assume is still grappled, even though he's gone from a large to a medium-sized creature. Correct?
That is right, yeah. So the pincers just tighten in on you.
Gotcha.
Let's swap your minis back over.
Don't get too big into that, because that's why I've got multiple. That's why I got to do this more than once.
No problem. I'll leave it for now, and then we'll kind of assess based on your next round. Cool. That is all it's going to do. It's got what it wants. The mist settles back down to that slightly obscured way that it was when you first met it, but it is still covering the same area. That would make it Rock's go.
Okay, so I think at this point, Rock probably has just squealed a little bit as Fulton turned into this giant animal and then sort of just leapt away with a snarl.
So brave.
He squealed bravely, and and Rock is probably starting to panic a little bit because of the size of this thing. But what I do need is I need this creature to throw to make a wisdom saving throw.
Yeah, no problem. I did so well at that last time.
I'm hoping
13.
it fails.
Yeah.
So I am going to cast polymorph on it.
Oh.
And I am going to polymorph it into a tiny little millipede.
A much smaller millipede. I am going to, rather than mess around with lots of things, I'm going to turn it into a tiny creature. It is still latched on to Fulton.
Yeah, Fulton's now holding it up like that. What the hell?
Shut off.
I can't believe that finally worked. Yay!
That's brilliant.
Cool. The mist disappears and just kind of becomes this background forest fog immediately as the wind just kind of blows through and sweeps it away. Fulton, holding on to you is this tiny, normal-sized millipede.
Okay, so I need to ask a question meta-wise. I can't recall. If you hold this for a full minute, it stays or it reverts after.
No, that's true polymorph. This is
polymorph.
This is normal polymorph. Anything that does, eventually this thing will turn back.
Yeah, we'll get back to normal.
Yeah.
But it's 1 hour.
Yeah.
He Fulton just being all about being one with nature and looks to Rock. I mean, he would be familiar with this from other druids, and uh, looks and goes, "What is the strength of your spell casting? How long do we have till it reverts form?"
Well, unless I get sort of very distracted, but I think I'm fine. I think I can, although there's quite a lot happening around it. Anyway, it's 1 hour. It's about 1 hour, and then it'll go back to being that enormous creature.
Fulton just drops it onto his armor for a nice little happy home where we can deposit it. We'll deposit it someplace safe later.
Um, uh, you sure you want that in your armor? Because what if we get kind of distracted or something, and then it suddenly appears in your armor? That's probably not. I mean,
But
I
it
have
would be nature's intent at that point.
not really sure
I
about that.
also
on my
can
conscience.
throw things very far if something else attacks us. I can
Okay.
throw this at them and let the two of them battle instead of us.
Gotcha. Okay. Good. Fine.
I figure Millipede's got about 1 hit point. But if I-
Probably less than, but mechanically,
Yeah,
it's
if I
as slow
if
as
I
you can go.
if I huck it at wherever the next thing that attacks us, it's going to have to deal with a giant Kirikari.
Yeah, I mean, the other alternative that you might want is like, this is quite a large area that you can drop it, and it can probably go down quite
That was
far.
my thought: is either dropping it off the side or someplace where it end up making real, being. I just don't want it to to drop it close enough that that we don't, oh darn it, hit a branch on the way down, and then
Although that would be quite funny.
yeah.
For whom?
Charlie, no, not funny.
No.
Well,
Sorry.
Well, the battle was supposed to be for the whole first half.
yeah, so,
I love that.
Hi.
I love that I've got a full level 4 armor on right now, like, huh! And it's just this.
Guys, that's brilliant.
fine.
I actually love that.
Sorry, Chris.
No, that's fine. That is the chaos of D&D and TTRPGs. Perfectly played, Wayne. I love that.
Yeah, nice one.
Cool. So you now have this area is now clear of this threat, and you find yourself standing on this large open area, free of your obstacle. The fog quickly starts to clear, and although it remains quite misty on the edge, just because of where you are, how deep you are in the forest, it does settle down to a reasonable level. You kind of get the impression that this thing is layered here. So from Fulton's point of view, it's probably a good idea on your way back to let anyone this is where it's hiding, so they can avoid this path unless they absolutely need to. But you solved my millipede problem. Well done.
Yes, we did.
Well, unless someone accidentally squishes it.
Oh no.
I love it. Absolutely brilliant.
Or Rock gets so stressed that he passes out.
Yeah.
Can
Or
happen.
something else attacks us because it's a concentration spell.
Actually, I look up around to the branches in the trees, looking for Mavish, our friendly blue-crested crow. I'm assuming he is our eyes in the sky.
No,
on this journey.
This is actually your journey. Mavish was
Okay.
bring you to the thing. He's got other tasks he's probably settling to.
No problem.
Is Pocket hungry?
Well, I wasn't gonna have him eat it, but I mean, he could just fly it over, over to the edge gently.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
Spot the city folk.
you guys do have mage hands.
Oh, we know.
Let's keep it in. Let's keep it in the.
This is
armor
no time
some
for
chaos.
applause.
So if someone hits my shield, all of a sudden it sprouts a giant.
Everybody will have fun with that. Absolutely. Stretching forward into this sort of branch goes up north, and you know, Fulton, you're probably a good couple of hours out at this point, but you are in a territory that's kind of not contested, but there are multiple groups here who all come through on a regular basis for hunting or gathering or anything like that. It's one of the areas you've kind of guided the residents of Malwind away from, just because adding more in here is just going to cause conflict. And it's not what the people of Malwind want. It's certainly not what the people
and
of the
we're
forest
there
need.
right now. Cool.
So I don't know if you want to give these any sort of warning along that line, or
Yeah, no, I mean, certainly, as we're moving forward, before an hour is up, we certainly will get rid of our Milipede friend. We won't forget. And I do think probably with about 15 minutes beforehand, sort of leave it and to just sort of I'll mention that dragon creature you seem to recognize.
Yes.
Well, not
also,
like them in particular, but like
something
the
similar.
vibe.
Also, Eugene, I'm not sure if we mentioned. Apparently, they have been attacking the people at the site of the temple. Did we mention that? I don't think we mentioned that.
Oh, no.
Oh, okay.
Don't-
Yeah, they have. We did come across one creature, but it had been kind of rescued from nearby here, but they had not seen anything like it before. So we weren't sure if it was a unique creature or if there were more, but now we obviously know there's quite a lot more. And it's a
still
little
like
strange.
a bit of a mystery how they exist.
It's not really a dragonborn, but it's not half dragon, and it also appears to lack a certain sentience, although it's alive. It doesn't. We tried to communicate with it, and there was a lot of confusion from it. So we were actually looking to find out a little more about them, but obviously that's why no one has seen them before, because they appear to be all around your forest.
Eugene, can you make me an investigation check whilst you're kind of looking around?
Oh, it's a natural 20.
Ooh!
So a 28.
Blimey.
Nice.
Amazing. With 28, you kind of casting your eye around, and you notice that there are bones that have been regurgitated by this creature, and leftover pieces of armor around the nest and things like that, and odd scraps of clothing. And one of the skeletons, which is a little more complete, does look like it might belong to one of these creatures. And it is wearing armor, or what's left of armor.
Hey guys, does this skeleton look like it could have been another one of those creatures? I get the feeling this is not the first one it's eaten. Also, is it wearing armor? That seems odd.
Oh.
I mean, the one we saw was completely sort of didn't have really any clothing on, and this kind of presents a very different kind of creature if they're wearing armor.
Is there much left of the armor? Could I take a closer look at it?
Absolutely. I mean, you might need to get a boost from one of your friends.
I'm still flying.
Oh yeah, just fly. Okay.
Eugene's just been hovering along next to us.
Eugene raptures up to get the armor.
Eugene could fly the centipede somewhere.
I'm not flying that thing anywhere. No way.
I think I will sort of.
I was going to say,
pick up a little bit.
Eugene didn't pipe up.
Nope.
Quite deliberately, apparently.
No.
Yeah.
So yeah, you hover up to where this sort of nest area is, and you can see this thing is it's very badly corroded, but you do find it looks like something that was just sort of strapped on, slapdashed onto a figure. Like it's very hodgepodge and kind of barely sort of useful. But what you do find in it is etched the twin dragons of the Empire. of its emblems, like very badly worn, even before it was corroded away. With that investigation check, you're kind of like, so this is corrosion damage, and this is just old. You can clearly see the difference. It is wearing what looks like leftovers of an Imperial uniform.
I think he would call down to Rock at this point. I get the feeling that the Empire is involved in this somehow. This armor is Imperial armor.
Well, yes, but it could have stolen the armor. I mean, it could have picked it up from somewhere else. Or I mean, the Empire has their own soldiers and army. Why would they?
I don't think these dragon people have enough consciousness to steal stuff.
But then, how would they have enough sort of awareness or consciousness to be able to know who to attack? Or they seem to be very feral.
Maybe they're being controlled somehow.
Why would the Empire need another army? They're constantly obsessed with the size of their army.
I don't think it's about need. I don't think they've ever been about need. I think it's more about want with the Empire.
Or maybe it's part of like an experiment. Like maybe they're trying something. I don't know.
Well, it sounds as though these creatures just sow chaos and are expendable. Also, the Empire learned its lesson, as I showed you yesterday, about coming here directly.
I
would assume that I would know that. I know we took all, in our grand cycle of reusing, the graves that we looked at yesterday were not disturbed, and I would assume we probably didn't bury them in their armor. We probably would have collected that to be reused, around the forest. So it's not as though this is any armor, any Imperial armor that came in on that dreadnought is accounted for.
It's been either the druids have reused it around the forest in very various ways, or they've traded it to Malwind, and it's been melted down and reused in different ways. You would know Patahine, the blacksmith, pays good gold or trade credit for any metal that you can bring, because Imperial metal is of very high quality, but it gets a lot of reuse. So he pays good for that.
Yeah. If there is indeed Imperial armor, it is new to the forest.
Fulton, do you happen to know when these creatures started attacking? Is this a long-term sort of issue that's been happening, or is it just since the temple has been discovered?
We said a month or so, is that right? Or weeks?
Round about the time of the temple appearing.
Yeah, the quake.
Yeah, stories about these creatures started shortly thereafter. Also, you would know from talking to Sib and Bonbon and others who were more involved with what happened at the dig site before, a number of these creatures were the ones that attacked the adventurers who went to sort out what was going on.
Yeah, that I remember her mentioning.
Mm-hmm.
There were 2 survivors, weren't there?
Yes, Bonbon and Snarg.
Cool. Yep.
Great names.
If you do say so yourself.
Even if I do say so myself. Yeah.
Bonbon the Clever.
Bonbon
yeah, love that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good. Well, that's just super. Well, I don't think there's much we can do about it right now, but do either of you have the message spell?
I don't
Message
think so.
or send?
Oh wait,
Or sending, rather. I don't
I
know
do
which
have-
one.
I do have message.
Which one?
Yeah, I have it. I have it as a cantrip. So
Which one
Do
can
you
we
want the
use?
one that sends far away?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yes,
No.
I have sending. I don't have it prepared, so
You have.
Not right.
You do
Okay,
have.
well, that's fine.
Rock, you currently have the sending stone. So if you want to get a message back to Klaus Kern, you can.
No,
use that.
I really want to get a message to my sister, but
I can do it tomorrow.
well, that's fine. I mean, it's not going to change
If it
today.
can wait, till
Yeah,
after
yes,
we've
that's
had a
fine.
long rest,
We-
I can prepare it for tomorrow. I thought I should probably prepare something
You
more.
can schedule a message for office hours tomorrow.
Bugs.
Yes, we'll use the scheduling software, and no, I will. I probably need to think about exactly how I'm going to phrase this anyway. So, yes, perhaps tomorrow we could send a message to my sister, and see if maybe she can shed any light on what I mean, the Empire has done some, quite frankly, shitty things for a long time, but I mean, this feels like it's bordering on experimentation just for the sake of. I don't know. Perhaps I still don't believe it can be the Empire, but maybe my sister could look into it. I mean, she's certainly closer to it than I am now.
I mean, to cast your mind back, she was with you and Aisling when you first met these things, and
Oh, that's right. She
she's
was, wasn't she?
already
Yeah.
looking into it. She was as surprised by the existence of these creatures as you were.
I forgot that. Yeah. But that's fine. I can still let her know what we found, and perhaps she's found something herself. But if they appeared or started attacking just after the temple appeared, then that would either suggest that it's something associated with the temple, or that as soon as the Empire heard about the temple appearing, they found a new way to attack in the forest because they know that the old way didn't work so well.
Potentially.
Or did they come with the temple?
Well, that's the other option. But why
Yeah.
would they? Why would they be wearing Empire armor then?
I yell up to Eugene. Are there any other items up there that bear identification from the other nations? Perhaps they did scavenge this off of the other adventurers or other groups who have come here, maybe some we don't even know about.
Okay.
And-
I'd take a look.
I'm going to actually let you, because you got a natural 20, I'm going to let it carry over for this whilst you're kind of looking over. You have a closer look through the nest. It's sticky and icky work. A lot of stuff is corroded to the point where you can't really tell what it is. You do find a mystically enchanted chest with runes that you don't quite recognize on it. And you also find a small dagger that miraculously is completely untouched by all of this. But everything else is kind of in virtual, like various states of liquefaction. Anything this thing doesn't eat, it seems to kind of break down and then consume later.
Nice.
Gross.
It's on a juice cleanse.
Ew.
Golly.
Are they both kind of easily takeable?
Yeah,
these things?
I'd say that you can slip your hand in relatively easy without touching any of the leftovers.
I'll use my mage hand. Be
Phrasing.
safe.
Phrasing.
I'll float down to the rest of these guys and show them what I found.
Cool. I think about this time the spell's probably starting to wear off as well, so it's
Yeah, I
safe
think-
to do so.
You
Yeah.
fall the last 5 feet.
Yeah, so you have beautiful dagger.
Could I cast Identify
Sure.
on? Did you say the chest was like magically something? Yeah, I'll cast Identify on the chest first.
You can cast something, but so do the dagger. The dagger is just a +1 dagger. It's very finely made. It's
Nice.
But it's nice.
Now I have 2 daggers.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
You
You're a
can't.
wizard. What are you going to do with the dagger?
Have 2 of them.
give one to our friends over at Wicked Game, apparently. So the chest itself is the container is basically the wards on it is the structure of the box is basically designed to be able to resist most damage. It's a you've seen these about before. They're high class storage trunks for keeping things safe and secure over long periods of time. You kind of rattle it a bit and it does sound like there's a little chink of glass in there. Nothing that sounds like it's broken.
Is it locked or can I open
it can open it. Roll me. No, I'm joking. It opens nicely, and you find 2 potions, one of which looks like a familiar health potion, and the other one looks like a slightly viscous, sort of semi-silvery goop that kind of slops around.
I drink the
Sounds lovely.
Have you still got
All of
you
those
probably
words
still
were bad.
have so the identify is still up, so we'll for this you have basically spirit glue,
Nice.
which is hilarious fun in the right circumstances, and that is a greater healing potion.
Hey.
And I think as soon as the chest is presented, Fulton, you can recognise druidic. Are the runes. It is clearly belonged to one of the druids that didn't come back, or someone else from one of the other groups of people.
Right.
Oh gosh, sorry, Fulton, was that disrespectful? Do you want the chest? I'm sorry, I didn't realize it was a
I
druid
can
thing.
bring the chest back to those close to them, but the cycle always continues, and this is as the forest would want it. It fell to your hands, so they are yours now.
Okay.
Finders keepers in the forest. Okay.
Hey, does anyone want a dagger? I really don't need 2. I'm not sure that I really need 1.
I'm alright.
Well, then swap. Keep the one that's the magic one. That's the one you should... Wait, have you got 2 magic daggers?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, dang.
Got 2 +1 daggers.
Yeah.
Transition to rogue completely.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yes.
I guess I'll put it in my bag for now.
You just keep them. We might need them at some point.
Maybe Pocket
throw
can
'em.
carry a dagger.
No.
No?
Why
No.
not?
Pocket is holding out his hands.
Grab your
No.
hands.
Grab your
Grab
hands.
your hands.
I might have to transform you into something bigger if you're going to start wielding a knife.
There you go.
No, I really
Kinda
want a tiny
scowls
rat
at-
to have a huge knife.
No, he scowls at you in that way that says, "Please don't."
I'm just saying.
Amazing. So it takes you a few minutes to kind of get this all sorted out, and then I don't know if you probably decide to move on quickly. So it's probably been about 10-15 minutes maximum.
Well, didn't we drop the fucking centipede somewhere nearby? So probably a good idea to get a wiggle on.
There might be another one also, right? Are millipedes solitary creatures?
Nature check.
Oh.
Fulton.
Wouldn't Fulton know
I was
that?
going to say, we don't need a nature
Oh,
check.
yeah.
We have a Fulton.
I would assume I would know. I would know.
A nature check on the behaviours of these particular species, but you have a lower DC than Eugene does.
Okay.
I got a 21.
Ooh,
Hey.
nice.
Oh, was that meant for me to roll?
Yeah, if you don't mind. If you want to, or you can just wait to see what Eugene knows.
I'll see what Eugene knows and see if I need to correct.
See if you need to correct them.
Generally, not a social animal. They compete for food, and they have a tendency to try and stay away from one another unless they don't, lest they kind of cause unnecessary injury. So yes, favored. You kind of remember something like reading some of this from one of the books your uncle's shelves or something like that. Favored prey is a giant dragonfly, which is one of the reasons they've evolved to be very stealthy, because they will wait for these dragonflies to land and eat nectar or peel from the bark of the trees, and that's when they'll attack.
Cool.
Yes, and you now know that you remember that they are called Kirikari.
Kirikari.
Yeah. They are one of the more talked about megafauna of the forest. So, I take it from that, after you kind of like exchange and kind of like you head on, carry on for that. Your path, actually, to get around the way you've come, you're going to need to come up almost to and it feels very high, all the way to the canopy. And you can just see more light breaking through than you have for a while. And I think it hurts most of your eyes for a little bit. And just as you kind of get towards where it all levels out and is heading towards the temple, you just see the slight flurry of snow coming in just from the sky above. And I think it's that first point where you realise, because the forest is so naturally warm, because it's such a contained ecosystem, that you all realise that actually it's early winter and you are quite far north now. And I don't want to speak for Rock, but it's one of those things that your family would be battening down the farms and the small folk for winter now, and kind of divvying out stores and making sure everyone had enough to keep themselves safe and warm. So your
Are Dragonborn warm-blooded?
Yeah, they're humanoid.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But so your sister's very busy, likely at the moment.
Oh, good. That's her job.
But I don't know if that kind of makes him feel in any way.
I think at the moment he's very torn. I think all the stuff about these creatures and them somehow being possible creations of the Empire has really unsettled him on so many levels. And I think he's probably a bit torn, because that kind of feeling of slight wistful memories of home is now kind of very much clouded by thinking about what this means and what the consequences are, and just the implications of them doing something like this. So I think he probably is just a little torn as to what to kind of think at the moment, and probably uncharacteristically quiet.
A history check from you, specifically.
Oh,
Being the only Empire kid.
I don't think that's going to work for me. Oh, it's a 10.
10? In a loosest sense, you're kind of like... It doesn't give you any sort of history in terms of working out, but you know, as you've sort of know from previous conversations and checking on things before, there are different cults of the dragon that pop up in the Empire on a regular basis. And they tend to do things like, not like this, but you have heard horrible stories about them stitching parts of dragons to themselves, and also raiding old tombs of the old Drathan, who were the precursors of Dragonborn, and raising them as servants.
Mm-hmm.
All sorts of horrible things, particularly out of the area of Curse Hollow. Nothing like this. You kind of get this general feeling that the problem is you don't know who it could be. It could be purposeful, or it could be one person's agenda. So you can't blame the whole Empire for this yet.
Yes, I can.
I mean, I'm not going to
Can
stop.
we?
Yeah, but
Can we do that?
You can, yeah. Rock said Empire. You saw Empire stuff. Must be an Empire problem.
Yep.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I think Rock's just trying to figure out what he needs to ask his sister and kind of let her know about this.
And a lot of the dragon cults are from are actually just ancient followings of things like, and because you were raised you were dedicated to the Eastern Dragon, one of the 13 when you raised, but your family, it's more of a we observe when we observe, we're not. But you know there are some families who are very, very tied to their beliefs.
Yeah.
And he is the most popular god in the Empire, for obvious reasons, like the association with dragons and things. You crest down into the forest again. This is very pretty, I think, for everybody else. This snow coming through for early winter and things like that. It's very calm and serene. You kind of see the occasional monkey or something like that come out of the forest and just kind of start playing in the small flurries that have appeared before something larger comes out and they kind of hide away and things.
I was waiting for you to say, it's like, oh, a cute monkey.
Yeah, that's what I was waiting for you to say too.
A millipede.
Oh shit!
It gets to about Fulton. I think your natural sense of time is probably better than most people in the jungle this far into the forest. It gets to about 50 minutes from the event, and you have this acknowledgement that Rock said. How long did you say you could keep it up for? About an hour.
An hour, yeah.
That imminently your armor is about to get a lot heavier.
Yeah. So I would either look around for, I would think, as this is a very winding and not well used pathway, and knowing that this creature will be, once it reverts, drawn back to its territory and lair where it's, holed up. Try to put it so it's not going to basically follow the same path that we just went through. But on the same note, not put it so far off the path that if someone were following us, that they wouldn't have to deal with it. Thinking about these dragons, and that certainly there's obviously some ahead of us, as the other one was in our path. But if there are potentially more coming from behind us, that now we've got a large Kirikari that is sort of now an obstacle for them.
Nice.
Love it. I think you drop it off, and this thing takes a couple of swipes at your boot in this desperate attempt to try to get one over on you before it, and then it sort of starts scurrying away in that. And you swear this thing looks over its shoulder at you with this whole "I will remember this."
Yeah, Fulton, as a bit of an apology for the inconvenience, does give the millipede pulls out a small grub from inside the bark of his armor as a form of apology for the disrespect that they have. But it got a nice little ride. Gets to see where there's good monkey hunting later.
Oh God.
I think Rock is watching this, and he just has his hand on his pistol because he's still thinking about whether he should just shoot the thing now.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
He's watching this with great interest, but just cautious in case.
Actually, I do have speak with animals. I think I chat with it a little bit, send it on its way, thank it, honor it for its horrible it's. Don't be embarrassed. It happens to the best of us. Wizards, right? And and send it on its way. If you see any more of those dragons, if you can take care of them for us, I hear they're chewy on the inside.
I think the general sense you get is indignation. It's definitely unhappy, and it's also that kind of edged with, because obviously it can't communicate to the same degree that you guys are, but it kind of gives this impression that it won't go looking for you all, but if you cross its path, it is definitely going to have a pop again, particularly Rock, which it's figured out is responsible for what happened to it.
I think y'all are used to Fulton's very gruff voice. When he's talking to this millipede or pretty much any animal, he's like uses puppy voice. Oh, who's a good boy? Who's a good boy? And so just this entirely different side of Fulton. Oh, I know, it's the worst. It's the worst.
And off your friend, in the loosest sense,
Loosest possible
scurries.
sense.
Takes the grub begrudgingly in its pincers and just kind of like just pulls away. You swear, Rock, it gives you stink eye as it goes.
Can bugs flip people off, or?
I mean, it's a millipede; it can flip you off.
Millipede 100 times.
Yeah, 1,000 times at once.
Like 50 legs just come up like that.
There's just like a little ripple.
And it disappears into the bark and slowly makes its way out of your view. I think.
Wait, as soon as it's down, I'm like, right, let's move. Come on, move distance. Let's go. Go.
Yep.
About 10 minutes in, you do hear a massive cracking of wood, as if something very, very large fell off of something that was not able to hold its weight. To add insult to injury. But it does not pursue you. It is getting on for about an hour out, but your companions are looking a little weary at this point, so it's probably a good place to take a break for yourselves. Grab some food and just double check how everyone's doing.
Yeah, I would. The way ahead. Looks to everyone. The easy part is over. The way ahead.
I'm sorry. The what?
The easy part.
The part with the giant fog spewing creature. That was the easy part.
Yes.
Oh, good. No, just checking. Just checking. All good.
So we might want to take a moment to gather our strength before continuing on this last leg of our journey.
What?
I've gathered it.
Oh, if you're fine to move on, we're welcome to.
No, didn't mean that.
I'm going to take a little rest.
Yeah, no, resting is fine.
Yeah.
My feet are killing me.
Amazing. I don't think anyone took any real damage in that, so but if you want to...
Apart from Fulton.
Sure.
I took a smidge of carryover.
If you want to take a short rest, you can do so. Regain anything you get from a short rest.
Can I use my Pearl of What's It and get a spell slot back?
Of course you can.
Thank you.
Yes. And I will have a perception check off of everybody.
Okay.
Rolled a 10 on my D10 for, so I'm just going to use one hit die to get myself topped back up.
Did you say a perception check, Chris?
Yes, please. Yes.
13 for me.
13.
7.
7.
10.
10. And Fulton.
I'm sorry, I was doing the hit die. What is this, perception?
Perception, sorry. I
No worries. 13.
13. You're all looking around for the 3 members of Pasket's Chosen. This is very unfamiliar. It's strange and weird, and everything is alive and loud and moves. Fulton, I think you're quite distracted. You're still tuned in, but you're kind of more worried about the millipede, so you're casting a lot of your attention back along the track, just in case it said that it was, done with you, but also, it might have gone. Do you know what? I'm big now. Let's give this a go.
I'm gonna treat myself.
Yeah.
I'm a grown up now. I can take it on.
Yeah.
So you don't hear the approaching footfalls until a spear is pressed against your neck.
Fulton's neck.
And that is where we're going to take our break.
Very nice.
Can't leave
damn
Fulton
it.
with a spear to his neck while we take a break. That's just rude.
Yeah, you're just gonna have to stand there for 10
It
minutes.
is, yes. So we're going to go for a slightly earlier break than we would normally. Apparently, my millipede fight was not the challenge I thought it was going to.
You need to manage it
Sorry.
like the rest of the episode. Like shit.
Would have been very different if it failed that. If it wouldn't have failed that saving throw.
Yeah,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
As I said to you all at the beginning, like if I'm playing, I roll completely different from when I'm DMing. It's amazing. It's this.
And I've tried like in 3 of our fights to use polymorph, and they have saved every single time. So I was not terribly optimistic,
But
but
your spell DC also went up recently, so that kind of makes a difference. So
true.
cool. Right, we're going to take a 10-minute break. We'll be back about 25 minutes past. Everyone just grab a drink, stretch, use the facilities, and we will see you shortly. Bye.
Hi, everybody. I'm afraid we're having a few small issues with sound because Chris has apparently charged up so much static electricity that he has shorted his microphone out when he touched it. So we're just
Yep.
we're just sorting that out.
Our game is that powerful. We break shit while
Awesome.
we're playing.
So you guys can all hear me again now, which is nice. Sorry about the echo. I'm having to use my microphone camera to kind of do it. Have no idea what to do. Got a nasty electric shock in both my ears when I sat down, and my microphone stopped working. So
No.
No.
Thoughts and prayers. Thoughts and prayers.
Ow. So that was fun half. That was a fun 5 minutes. So anyway.
Welcome back.
So I apologise for the sound quality, but we shall forbear. If there is any problems, I can try and turn it up a little bit as well. There's no problem. So just let me know in chat if you can't hear me at any point in time. So before the break, our friends and their guide took down a Milipede in one of the biggest power moves we've had so far in some other heroes, frankly. Wayne is very guilty about this. I don't think he should be. I thought it was hilarious. They have now said goodbye to their pet, their temporary pet Milipede, who has wandered back towards the forest. And whilst sitting down for a quick break and a breather before they do the very last leg of their journey, they were snuck upon by parties unknown. And we ended our break with Fulton with a tip of a spear just pressed against the edge of his neck. And a clear, very gentle voice says, "I snuck up on you, sibling. You are distracted."
If you will allow, since I just took a short rest, which makes things very fun, he immediately, since I have beast shape, combat wild shape, turn into a tiny lizard, scurry around, sort of between his legs, let it go so that I am behind him and have him by the throat.
Amazing. I will have a quick contested grapple check, if that's okay.
Sounds great. Perfect. Strength, right? Or is it strength or is it athletics?
You can add athletics as well, but I will do the same.
It's a 21.
Ooh, they got 23.
Oh, nice.
So you guys hear this scramble and you look over and you see this very large figure, not quite as large as Fulton, but very nearly as large, with a spear pressed against Fulton. You watch as Fulton disappears into a small lizard form, tries to climb up at this creature who grabs him just as he's turning back and twists it, and so the butt of their spear is just against your chin and they're standing back. You see a tall, you've probably seen them about, blue-furred firbolg with little pink tips to their ears and a broad grin.
Is it somebody that we had seen at the enclave?
No, this is a firbolg you've not seen before.
Okay, I would immediately throw my rapier and have it hovering near them.
Okay.
Because I don't know who this is.
It's about this point that about 5 other figures appear out of nowhere, as if dropping the invisibility spell, with various arrows trained on each of you.
Ah!
I think Eugene just does this.
I think I have an Eldritch Blast ready, but I'm not doing anything with it yet. I'm just like, shit, God, what?
Rock's just going to go, "What is going on now?"
I think Fulton begins to chuckle.
This individual, and I didn't get a chance to add them to your notes, is Reba. And they are from your historical home.
Right.
Both yours and Alocaster's. But you both left to join the Druids. And they step back and give you room, hands up, drop the spear to the side.
I will withdraw the rapier to me.
What brings you, Reba? Are you also been enlisted for the mystery that lies ahead?
We go, as always, where the wind blows us through the forest. But it is the end of the season, and one of our young are not blooded yet. So we hunt a Kirikari.
Oh,
You're on the right path.
I wish you could have bumped into us like 20 minutes ago. It would have been easy.
It may be a little annoyed now.
There's one of
Hi.
the younger archers, when you say that, Rock genuinely looks a little shook
Oh,
by the statement. And the Reba just kind of smiles and nods. A proper challenge. Just what they need.
I warmed them up for you.
So, Fulton comes and goes through the forest as he pleases, as is Sib's will. But who are you three, and why should we let you alone?
Fulton will say, they are my charges with Sib's blessing. However, they should speak for themselves so that they are known to the forest.
This man is not very good at hiding his emotion. And there's a genuine sort of, when you say scout, like when you say Sib's blessing, there's a curious, almost sort of like, this is not how things should be done. Look, but doesn't question it. Probably you kind of get the impression that for the rest of you, without kind of too much, that there's history here of a long-going like relationship with the Grove and the Druids.
I do motion to the party that they should introduce themselves.
Hi. I'm Eugene. We won't be here long. We're just here to go check out a temple.
Oh. Yes, this temple.
I'm Rock. It's very nice to meet you. And Rock will bow, sort of way, sort of unnecessarily over the top. Yes, Sib gave us sort of permission to travel through the forest. I mean, we're definitely not staying. I mean, we're not staying, but the temple is of interest to us, and but we're hoping we can perhaps help. Yes. Sorry, and you are?
He ignores you and just turns to Fulton and goes, in Giant, says, you walk with one of the Northerners. Is he one of theirs?
I reply back in common
ooh.
as a intentional slight. And also as a form of respect to the fact that these are my charges and under Sid's protection. As just a barbed reminder of if you cross this intent, you are crossing the intent of Sib. And just say, very point blank, I do.
And kind of nods at you, Rock, and then they look at the satyr. The fair folk come and go as they please in this forest, though your face is not known to me.
No, I've not actually been before. My name's Aisling, and I don't have much else to add to the story. These guys have kind of said it all.
This temple is bringing a lot of strangers to the forest, Fulton.
Indeed.
I trust Sib. I do. But there are echoes among the others that there is too much attention.
It is my desire as well as my belief is that the quicker we let this business conclude, the quicker the circle will be complete again with those who are meant to be here, and those who are not. And he does look at the three of his charges will be gone.
You have a Fae, you have Fulton, and you have Sib's blessing. Keep to the paths, listen, and do not disturb that which should not be disturbed. And we have no issue.
We won't touch anything.
We are very clear on that. Fulton explained that all at the beginning. We are just taking instructions from Fulton, and we are staying on the path.
And we're not like tourists or anything. We're not here just to like cause a chaos.
I mean, it's
Just
really
a
lovely.
byproduct.
It's very beautiful. I mean, we don't want to stay here. I mean, it is nice, but we don't. I mean, it's beautiful.
I'll just sort of hit Rock on the arm, like, ha ha ha.
Everyone bar Rock can make an insight check.
Yep. Read the room, Rock. Oh, fuck. 11.
12.
12 and Fulton?
Fulton's just a 12, but I would say very much so because he's not necessarily pleased. You know, he is doing Sib's will, but he probably really agrees with Reba's take on all of this.
I think with a 12, it's just the edges, but you kind of get the impression that Reba is deliberately letting Rock stumble and say more than he needs to.
Fulton did much the same, so.
If you are going to the temple, take the southern branches. It will cost you minutes, I know. The north, our young dragon is shedding, and she is in a foul mood.
Advice well taken.
You and Nalocaster should come home more. You are missed.
Fulton bristles a little bit at that. As just, again, probably some family history involved for anyone with a bit of insight.
Can I insight check that, please?
You can, yes.
Just to see whether Fulton actually wants to go home, as is being requested of him. And that's a 25.
Yeah, I mean, it's the "we'll see you for Christmas, dear" idea. Yeah, it's one of those where it's just like.
So not something too horrible, but something you'd rather maybe not.
Yeah, it's an obligation. You know that you have to, do that, and yes, you should visit more often. You should call more often. You should send a postcard every once in a while. It's like, would it kill you to drop by, for dinner, once a month?
Oh, the passive aggression.
It's that.
There's a smile and a gentle nod, and he holds up a hand, and all of them drop their arrows and the like and step back. No injuries, no requirements of hospitality. Are you all okay?
No, I think we're all fine now. We were just having a little rest.
I would like to ask a question, if that's okay, if that's permitted.
Alacaster always suggests that an inquiring mind is a keen mind.
Eugene's very keen.
It's always inquiring whether I like it or not. I was just wondering if you had encountered any dragon-like creatures that don't normally exist here.
Yes. We drove some away from near one of our encampments about a month ago. And then they appeared again and again. Mostly, they seem to stay away from the forest folk. Mostly.
Did you happen to see... Did they come to the forest? Do you happen to know if they'd ever been seen arriving or whether they just appeared near? We're just trying to figure out where they come from.
I think Reba will just cast a glance to Fulton as if to say, what's this about?
Fulton looks and says, there are clues that are pointing towards who might be responsible for this new creature that is walking the branches. Whether it is something that has sprung anew to our circle that should be incorporated, or whether it is a disease that should be cut out. The question is, at our borders, those who watch the outer branches, is there any word that someone has planted this as an invasive species to our circle? Or is it that the forest has deemed to test us and our resolve for our own survival and our place?
There are different thoughts on that.
I think you just hear Rock whisper to Aisling going, that's exactly what I said.
There are different thoughts on this, Eugene. The halflings swear no one has crossed their borders, and I believe them. The Tigrin think that they got here by magic, and the Tigrin are more connected than any of us. We simply know that they were not here, and then they were. But, kind of nods to the young hunter, who kind of walks over to you, he calls over a second, and they rumble something to each other in that strange, deep language. And then the young Firbolg walks over to you, Eugene, and gives you what looks like a ruby. We did find this where we had driven one of them off.
And does it look just like a regular ruby?
It looks like a regular ruby.
Does it taste
But
like
is
a
it
regular
a regular ruby?
So,
I love that Eugene's like, does it look like a regular ruby? Aisling's like, does it taste like a regular?
Yep.
Oh, Ashton, get it out of your mouth.
Yeah. She's like a bad dog. What's in your mouth?
Aisling,
it.
put it down.
Drop
Put
it.
it down.
Drop it.
Make me a quick Arcana check. It's very low DC.
16.
Very low DC. That's more than sufficient. Yeah, you've had a history of finding leftover gems of various kind. Just after teleportation magics have been used to whisk people away. Both Cotton had one, and from Aisling's story about her encounter on Ladywell Farms, Callie had one as well.
Oh yeah.
Ah,
The
okay.
wrong un, the murderer.
Interesting. We keep finding these gems after someone's used teleportation magic. So that would
You
suggest
do
that
a lot of teleportation. Do you need a gem to do that?
From what you
Well, not-
remember, this is like a egress spell. This is like a one-use get me the hell out of here spell, which is why Cotton used it before to get away from you, and why Callie used it before you could do her any real damage.
I see.
Yeah, not the kind of teleportation. Because I know the spell, but you can store the spell in this, and then it's like a one-time thing, I guess.
But
Like a sending stone.
That couldn't
But
have been
for
used. That couldn't have been used to sort of bring them all here, though, could it? I mean,
No, but it may suggest that the person who brought them here then used it to escape themselves.
Yeah, maybe.
well, if the other creatures and peoples around here have said that they didn't cross the borders to come in, and as your friend said, the Tigrin believe they got here by magic, I'm inclined to believe them because they appear to be quite in touch with the goings on around here.
Also, it seems like two of the three we know are Embers related. So, could they have played any part in getting the dragon people here?
Well,
Well,
I mean,
yes, it's entirely possible.
but what would they have to? Well,
I don't know.
Reba kind of leans into Fulton, and just loud enough so that the three of you can hear. They talk very strange things, don't they?
Incessantly.
That's a bit rude, lads. All right.
rude.
But not untrue. Well,
No, I suppose not.
keep it if it helps you.
Okay.
We have no
Thank you.
use of such things. We were going to take it to Sib to see if she understood it, but it seems that you already have an answer.
Eugene, maybe your research team back at the house will be able to help.
Oh yes, I should let them know about our developments.
We could leave the little ruby thing with them and see if they can poke it and prod it and see who did it.
I'm not sure that's how
Not
it works,
sure
but
that's how it works. Yeah.
Well,
But yeah,
magical
good
poking,
idea.
prodding,
Yeah.
not just like poking it.
it's good to see Ashling's grip on magic is advancing so quickly.
I'm a sorcerer now. I know what I'm doing.
There's a gentle from inside your head.
Stop. Enough out of you. Meat.
If that is all, I will bid you a good journey. And no offence meant, but I hope you resolve and leave as quickly as you can.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, none taken. We're totally with you on that one. Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, as lovely as it is, obviously.
So the creatures are too big and too smart, and we don't like it.
I grab the young, nervous hunter, most likely the one who's on their first thing, and sort of grab them by the back of the neck and place them right in front of Rock.
Ooh.
And go, Furlbog, yes?
Yeah, they're all fair bog.
Yep. And say, make yourself look like him if you want to become truly tested by the Kirikari.
That's so
And I
mean.
hold him there to use his Furlbog magic to make himself, until he disguises himself to look like Rock.
It glances at Reba, who's smiling in a sort of slightly wicked way, and then he nods, closes his eyes and nods, and then when he opens up, Rock, you're looking right into your own eyes.
Oh, that's really alarming.
And
Um,
his size literally shrinks down so that
Oh.
he is Rock's height, and his whole form changes so that he looks exactly like Rock.
I'm just gonna,
floating horn and
grab Eugene's sleeve, be like, oh my god, there's two of them.
That's fascinating. It's
think-
exactly the same.
Rock's sort of going to try and touch his face.
just bats it away. It feels like your scales too.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the fun tactile piece of it.
Oh, it's
Good
not like
hunt.
disguise. Look, sorry, didn't mean to poke you. Never mind.
No offense intended, but would you rather not do that? Is that good? Was that good?
Oh
I
my
mean,
god, it's uncanny.
it's a little full on, to be honest, but you'll get it, I'm
Is
sure.
it?
I mean, yes, it is, Aisling. I'm not sure you do want to do that, though. I mean, the Milipede thing was quite sort of
You'll get killed
aggressive.
dead.
It's a first. For first blood, you should be well challenged.
Yeah, but not dead.
The clan
If the
will,
forest wills it, the forest wills it.
Oh,
my people will eat well tonight, or the Kirikari will eat well tonight. He says with a bravery that doesn't quite touch touch your eyes. Thank you for this. And he kind of reaches in and pulls out like a small clump of moss. If you are injured in the near future, slap this on the wound. It will stop and steal any poison that you might have.
He's giving that to me.
He slaps it in your hand before you have a chance to kind of do anything with it.
Rock's just like, thanks. It's lovely.
doesn't look sterile.
I'm just going to put it in my pocket.
Pocket moss.
No, that's very kind of you. Thank you. I do appreciate the gesture.
Least I can do for borrowing your face.
Yeah, don't do that too long. It's really unnerving.
It's just a bad sentence all round. That was just unpleasant.
Reba turns to you all and says, "Good journey."
Oh, I might just mention one thing. If you're wearing that face, if you run into anyone from the Empire, I would drop the disguise.
Oh, if we run any of the Northerners with the metal machines, they will not live long enough to report back anything.
Okay.
Oh, in that case, keep it on.
They slowly, one by one, disappear into the foliage. And almost immediately as they're out of view, you kind of get the impression that they are not only very good at stealth, but probably using magic to enhance their journey. And you are left on your own.
Well, they seem lovely, I'll say to Fulton. They were lovely. It's nice to meet them.
Just one raised eyebrow.
Can I insight check whether Fulton's going to punch me or not?
Aisling is well versed in the language of the raised eyebrow. Rock does it all the time.
That was a 21. Am I going to get punched?
Not going to get punched, but
Okay.
I think it just sort of reads into. It's the same thing of like, when you've bumped into your parents with your good friends, or pumped it, but and you have like sort of one of those barbed conversations, and then your friend goes, "Oh, they're lovely," and you're just like, it's one of those.
Aisling, I was really good at it. Now you've made a connection. You should totally smell him.
No, right, okay. I've been thinking about this. I think that might be a bad idea.
Aisling disappears into her head for a second again.
My eyes kind of glaze over a little bit. It's like, oh, yeah, just like that.
Yeah.
Oh, that was perfect.
Well
done.
Thanks, camera. Good.
You get the impression that you are finally on your own again.
Yeah. Fulton will begin get us back on the trail, and as they had guided south, the southern branch is not the northern, correct?
So don't go north. Dragon's in a bad mood.
Yes.
Jesus.
Unless you have some interest in fighting a dragon.
Nope.
Probably
Nope.
angrier than the Kirikari.
No,
Molting is never a fun process.
that's fine.
Yeah, we're good. We're
I
good.
can
We're good.
definitely go without that.
We don't need to fight it, but I mean, will we be able to see it from a distance?
Not if it sees you first.
No, good point. Okay, no worries.
You would know from like communication with your family that currently is owned by that whole area is owned by a green dragon who's in their very early adult stage. So they're all just a little awkward.
Teenager.
Just trying to work out who they are and things like that. They're not unfriendly. They take what they need to, like most creatures.
You're a teenager.
Yeah, stroppy
Dragon
teenager.
going through puberty. No thanks.
Yeah, like all dragons, bad temper. Not a good time to be near them.
Yeah,
Case
take
broke
note.
out from molting. It's terrible.
Oh no!
Doesn't want to be seen. Show up. They're going to slam the door.
Yeah.
Go away.
Mom, it's embarrassing.
Amazing. The journey down through the next segment is actually, despite what Fulton told you, a little easier.
He might have been embellishing.
It's mostly down branch. You come down into what looks like an actual little island. And as you get further into the island, you find that the whole place feels quieter, softer in a lot of respects. And I think with your passive Ashling, you spot first very old grey and white stone poking out from roots with symbols that have been carved into them. Not words, more like representative elemental things. As you get further in, these look more complicated. And eventually you come to an open clearing which has what is left of what was an elegant mosaic and stone steps and an archway. And it's here that Fulton draws you to a close. You are on the cusp of where the temple is. They should have scouts somewhere nearby, so it's probably a good idea to stop and let them come to you.
Oh God.
Yeah, Fulton just sort of puts his hand out. We wait here. Quick question.
Yes.
Is this whole island new? Since, is this part of what appeared? Or it was the island here and now there's a temple on it? Or was like the entire, this whole sort of island just became revealed within the forest, sort of brigadooned in on us?
So this is the weird thing about it. This island did exist. It was just a small wild piece of rock, which was good for hunting. It's big enough to have like the occasional elk family will make their way down and graze down here and things. No one remembers the ruins being here. And actually it was hunters who had been given permission to hunt these elk that came down here and went, well, where's the field? Where's the clearing? Where did all this come from? And that's where everyone was like, it's almost like it had appeared on this island and wasn't there before. And it's one of those feelings like, did we just overlook it? Was it always here and we didn't see it? Or did it come from somewhere else and replace the island that was here? But geographically, this island has always been here.
Fulton explains this was a rich grazing area for some of our more terrestrial, more ancient, old world species that had adapted but still required. He sort of stamps his cloven hoofed foot, more solid, less arboreal territory.
I can relate.
When one of our hunting parties came to take what was allowed from the forest, this was here, and we know, while we know it was not before, it seems like perhaps it always was. It's almost as though two things existing simultaneously. But we know we didn't hunt elk through temple grounds, but we also, it is strange. It is
Sorry,
strange.
Chris, did you say there was a stone archway?
Yes, there is, yeah. Leading to what looks like some stairs. And just coming up from that, as you look over, is a human dressed not in like hides and like covered with moss and paints, who waves at Fulton.
Fulton acknowledges back.
Ashling waves too.
I think you hear them shout in sort of a half language more than anything like that, which Fulton, you'll know that this person is giving a description of who's arrived in Druidic down the tunnel. And the second person appears. They're both human. One of them is a little younger than the other. As they go past, the newcomer squeezes the first one's hand and then makes their way over to you. You know these two to be Arbor and Clef. They're on loan from the Druids to help the people from Daklan make sure that they've got someone on their side, just keeping the forest at bay whilst they're here.
Fulton just acknowledges them and says, and asks, how goes the work inside? Anything interesting? Raising an eyebrow, knowing that in the forest, interesting means like bad, like things attacking, etc.
Oddly, it's been really peaceful. It's weird down there though, Fulton. I don't like it. The husband thinks it's fine, but you know, optimist, pessimist, way it goes.
We bumped into Riva. They
so-
visited.
they were this far south at the moment.
On a first hunt. We sent them to a Kirikari that we bumped into on the way from the Enclave.
Ah, right. They don't know Alacaster's here, right?
I didn't mention it.
I think that he would prefer no distractions at the moment.
Wouldn't we all?
Sorry, I'm being really rude. I'm Arbor. This is my husband, Clef. And Clef kind of signals.
I will say hello to Arbor, and then I will immediately sign to Clef saying that it's a pleasure to meet them.
They look a little surprised and smile. And then they kind of they kind of shake hands with the rest of you as well. Gotta admit, little skeptical of what you can do, but any insight you've
So are we.
I mean, I think it's more discovery kind of trip than necessarily doing anything. I think
No,
really
we're going to go inside, right? That's
inside what?
the temple.
Well, yes, of course, but we're not necessarily going to do anything inside there.
You're not going to rid the forest of this.
Well, that's
I'm
our
not sure
that's our
it's
hope.
possible.
We still trying to figure out how it got here. And wait,
Yeah.
Eugene, are we just casting some spell or something? Or?
Well, I don't know. We need to have a look first, right?
At least just establishing that it's
Well, that's
safe,
what I just
safe
said.
to stay here is probably a good thing for us at this point, wouldn't you say, Fulton?
It's a deep sigh of people staying here.
Fulton's so over it.
And says, again, remembering his place, of course, safe for people to stay.
Well, I meant more along the lines, it's not just going to endanger the forest, but yeah. I mean, the Declanians have been nice, helpful, supportive. There's a lot of them, though.
Yes.
Well,
Far too many.
hopefully we can get, some idea of what it is, and then maybe they would be so interested in it if we can sort of solve that for them. We just need to have a look.
Well, make your way down, all of you. Alacaster knows you're here. I'm sure he's let the research team know that you've arrived.
How far down is it underground?
Oh yes.
How far?
He smiles and kind of looks at Fulton. I'm not going to ruin the surprise.
You'll see.
Oh,
We shouldn't have anything to worry about. And these are the three who were responsible for the quake earlier this year.
well, no. I mean, we didn't cause the quake. That was caused by a giant AL falling. That we were trying to save the world. We didn't cause the quake. We saved the world.
But caused the quake in the process.
Made it.
Well, I mean, the
fall.
falling caused the quake. I mean, we just
Look,
You were
made
quite
it
clear in your story.
So how long does it take to get down to the temple?
Wow. Should get started if you want to get there before dinner.
Oh, good.
There's a hint of a grin at Arbor's, sort of at the end of Arbor's face, which kind of implies that he's winding you up a little bit. But go and have a look. Seriously, I don't want to spoil this. It's actually very impressive. It's just weird, and I don't like it because it's weird. That's all.
I like weird.
Okay, well, I can tell how fond Fulton is of new and weird things.
Always. Ecstatic to see something new and different.
I don't need to insight check shit. My passive is 17. I know what's
Yes.
going on.
So you make your way past these arches, and again, it's covered in these symbols, which are not so much words as like worn implications. And I think
Do I recognise any from the sketches that I made from the other temple?
Yes.
Ooh.
There is a very
Okay.
similar feel here to the sketches that Aisling made before.
So I've definitely got my notebook with the sketches in that I'm like comparing stuff to.
And I think it sends a little shivers down your spine as you kind of have this confirmation that those two places are connected somehow.
Ooh.
As
Okay.
you step across the threshold, you notice there's a plateau, and you kind of turn back just to see what the rangers are doing for a second. And Aisling, I think, if you don't mind, there's an involuntary gasp as you look back, as you settle on what is left of a mosaic that depicts a large horned figure holding a box.
Uh-oh.
Is it a white box by any
Familiar
chance?
box.
Both the figure and the box are in white. Well, it's very dirty at this point, but what was originally white stone.
Oh! Has
Um,
anyone else turned around, or am I just staring at it?
I think that if you don't mind, the gasp was audible enough to draw the
Okay.
attention of all three of your companions.
Yup.
I think there's a moment of silence, and Rock's just like, "Oh,
Does this mean something to you?
Uh-huh.
it's vaguely familiar." Well, the box is familiar, not the creature. That's rather large and quite
Oh no,
impressive.
Aisling has seen this depiction before.
I haven't, though.
No.
You
It
have.
was really well described to us, though, if you
Oh
remember.
yeah. Flawless.
There were sketches.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I'm just going to look at Aisling.
It's the from the.
Oh, is that the Chained King? Oh, rather. He's a rather buff boy, isn't he?
Are you shush? What are you shushing?
Who?
Oh, okay. Internal shushing. I get you.
Yeah.
Well, Fulton, this may take 10 minutes to explain. I'll explain. Don't.
Yeah, it'll take 20 hours if
At
I
least.
explain it.
Basically, how do I explain this quickly?
I've got
So-
drawings. I'll show him drawings as Eugene is going through the story, like a flip book.
And Rock will just randomly throw in corrections as you do, whether they're right or not.
Is there anyone else around us, or is it just the four of us?
The two rangers have gone back out to kind of patrol the outer edges. You kind of get the impression they saw you coming and then just went to let people know that someone coming.
How about Arbor and Clef? Are they still with us?
That is Arbor and
They-
Clef for the two
Okay, Arbor and
rangers.
Clef. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of the Chained King?
How? Yeah, I was going to say. No.
Okay. Well, that's him. We think, and so Aisling has a friend.
The
shall we
demon
say?
inside of them.
Yes.
That's the one.
And
I was awake when Sib came in.
and yeah, he's related to this somehow, to the Chained King somehow, and the realm of dust and shadows, and the 13th seat.
13th seat you've definitely heard of. It's this mythical 13th holy position, which is supposed to be empty. It's supposed to have a god sitting in it, but it doesn't at the moment. Sib talks about it occasionally in terms of metaphysics.
Mm-hmm.
And Aisling's friend in her head came to her when she discovered an alabaster puzzle box, not unlike the one depicted in this mural. Which is why, well, one of the reasons we're quite keen to investigate the temple. We think it might be connected to another temple.
And it's all connected to the 13th seat and this Chained King.
Yes, there's the
And
law says that whoever could complete the puzzle box, it's broken. Whoever could complete the puzzle box may be able to access the 13th seat.
Fulton swings around toward Aisling.
What?
So, you have a hitchhiking demon in your head. As you
I mean, he's pretty friendly. I mean, yeah, okay. He is
He's now my
hitchhiking,
favourite.
He
but
helps
not
us.
in
I
like
mean,
a parasitical kind of way, more in a like informed consent sort of situation.
Yes. Yeah, that one.
They're kind of symbiotic rather than anything else, and he's helped us and kept us, tried to keep us safe as far as we know.
Yeah.
Fulton kind of opens his mouth and closes his mouth. And it's interesting. In the forest, there is a lovely little creature, not unlike a dragonfly, that, as you can see, maneuvering around can be quite difficult. And if you befriend one of these creatures, feed it, it will attach itself to you and will carry you to wherever you might want to go. It's able to have you to protect it as it gets its food sources. You are able to traverse over many dangers. But there then comes a day when it needs to lay its eggs.
Oh, I don't like where the story's
I
going.
immediately say to Alabaster, "You do not lay eggs, do you?" That's not something you do, right?
Ew, no, I am.
No.
Do I strike you as the parental type?
No, but I just wanted to. Okay, all right, sorry. Yeah.
But for a long time, many years, sometimes decades, they have a very symbiotic relationship with each other until they don't. And the stutterfly will lay its eggs within the body until, unbeknownst to this other person, they erupt out of them, creating a whole new generation. Quite convenient, quite symbiotic,
wait.
quite a lovely partnership. Makes you a wonderful, great warrior, protector of the forest while it lasts.
I definitely right. Okay, I just checked. I definitely don't have demon eggs. But
Oh, it's probably not that it needs someplace to lay its eggs, but demons do love a throne.
Look, I love the assumption that you've got, Aisling, that you're the one in danger here. I think it's a warning for me.
I don't lay fucking eggs.
No, but it might give me a coronary with all that cheese you eat.
Oh, you'll be fine. Oh.
Just make sure you're not flying too high. A stutterfly at one point will end it all to get what they need.
Okay.
I mean, he's not the first person to say something like that. I mean,
No.
not with quite such picturesque analogies.
The analogy was a bit jarring. I've not had that one before, but
The forest
it's fine.
does not mince allegories.
No, it sure doesn't.
I can't help but like him. He's really, really quite a character. He grows
Oh
on
my
you,
God.
doesn't he?
You're in my head. Can you delete the memory of that sentence about laying eggs, please?
Nope.
Ah. Okay.
And you don't dream anymore, so we can talk about that in detail.
I
Well, at
can
least
still
you
get
won't have
knocked
nightmares.
out though.
It's about this
Still
point
get
in
knocked out.
time that you're kind of like still probably walking slowly, and this whole situation gets weirder for the three of you as you cross the threshold and you see this long, very large set of stairs descending. For you three, these feel big. They're manageable, but they're big. They look like they're built for someone around Fulton's size. For half giant or small giant kin. They descend.
Sorry, Aisling, the other temple, was it this sort of scale or?
I can't. Chris, was it?
Nope.
No, I didn't think it was.
It's much smaller.
No, it was better suited to like our sort of height.
And where are Fulton, are furbolgs sort of, is this the area where furbolgs have traditionally lived and existed and come from?
Ooh.
I gotta lean on my DM. I
Yeah,
don't think so, right? I mean, it's
The Fearbolg have always been here, your Fearbolg, but you would know that there are Fearbolg in the south as well. You
Right.
would have heard that from travellers and things like that. And I think you all met Mossy Dillweed, didn't you?
Yeah.
So I don't know if they would have come up in conversation, but you are familiar with the fact that there are quite a number of Fearbolg through the whole of Ashral.
But they have always been here, because this kind of looks like it's sort of made for your size. Really.
Yeah, because the other one that I've seen that looks similar was not necessarily.
this is a traditional territory for my people. And others related to us.
Yeah, there are enough Goliath in the area as well, so it could be them.
Well, maybe the hypothesis that this temple has always been here, it just hasn't let itself be seen.
Well, we did ask. I mean, we talked about the fact that it was sort of odd that nobody knew where these 5 temples were, if they were so important to the existence of the Sky Shield. But this seems to imply that they were obviously intentionally hidden magically, and the accidental Sky Shield event means that one of them is now visible. So perhaps it has always been here, but just hidden. And actually, something Fulton said sort of seems to make sense to me in some weird way. Is that he mentioned something about existing in sort of 2 spaces existing in one, or sort of, that kind of feels like some of the other things we've experienced with the island and various other things.
And it had to it couldn't have just been invisible, because people would have smacked into it and someone would have noticed.
Well, I'm sure. I mean, herds of
Yeah.
creatures running through would have probably.
They wouldn't have been running for particularly long. People would have noticed that.
Well, and also, to be honest, based on the people we've met with Fulton, I think they'd know exactly where anything like that was. They would know where the danger was or anything weird. So, so it's not just invisible. It was clearly well hidden by magic. But
Perhaps it is almost like my people's inherent magic. The young hunter wasn't just an illusion, but there were all of the sensory elements to his disguise. Perhaps this temple is much like this, our inherent magic, that when it disguises itself or hides itself, it's not just an illusion that one can still bump into, but it is something different.
was the other temple, Aisling, was that always there? Or did that also just appear?
It didn't just, let me just double check. It didn't just appear from what we know, right? Because it was excavated.
No, you found you mapped out the area specifically because well, one, you were hired to do so. Someone knew it was there. Those were newish islands, or it seemed like they were newish islands, so had allegedly floated up. But no one, so it's one of those things where as they were passing there, somebody went, "Oh, we've not seen those before. Probably should get someone to go down and just check what's there," which is why you were hired.
Okay.
Or so you thought.
Yeah.
And that was before the whole accidental Sky Shield incident, so that couldn't have been because of anything that happened or didn't happen while we were saving the world.
Rock's really got a chip on his shoulder about this.
Fulton gives a little bit of a side eye. You say the other temple and that there are potentially 5. Could they be each temple attached to a people, a lineage? And
Well, that's exactly what I was thinking. That hence my question about the Furbolg. If this is built almost to size for the people who have always been in this area, then it does seem to imply that 5 peoples perhaps came together to form this.
They seem like quite important things that maybe more than, a small group of people needs to take care of. Maybe it's like a whole civilization of people need to take care of it,
Correct. And I'm wondering if not just the scale, but the method of concealment might also be built to resemble that of the people. That this, as I was saying, all magic that is inherent in us, perhaps is inherent in this temple, and not knowing what lies ahead or what you've experienced before, perhaps each temple has its own flavor of concealment and challenge.
Does, to you, does anything else look like it could be a bit Furbolgian?
I am so bad at history, but I can give it a try.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's quite difficult to say because most of your people are they're like the ones you just met and have been for generations. But
yeah, I mean, for oral tradition, and this would not. I mean, yeah, it's a 6.
it's a 6.
Oh.
It's conveniently sized for you. This is probably one of the few structures you've been in that actually is sized for you. But it isn't. Nothing about this screams particularly Furbolg or or Goliath or anything like that. Hey, Tooth.
Hi, Toothless.
But yeah, it is interesting. What you do find as you're kind of casting your eye around is your eyes do settle on what looks like a relief of 5 figures carved into the stone in a lintel above the stairs. And the centermost figure looks like then they're very abstract, so they're not sort of like very detailed. The central figure looks female. They have very long hair and a long cloak which is stylized to curl out at the base. They're holding their hands up and there is a star in the middle of it. And they are very much taller than everybody else. To her left is a horned figure who is holding his hands open like this and has 10 rocks which float in an arc above his head, also very, very visible. A figure to her right could be a minotaur or a dragonborn. It's hard to say. Big curled horns, sort of like quite a square face, long cloak and what looks like armor with a big star on the front, holding their hands out with a staff floating above them, and 5 stars, one centrally larger. A figure that is quite definitely a dwarf is to the far left, with an axe embedded in the ground and what looks like a symbol of a dragon above his head. And to the far right is a small humanoid that could be dwarf, could be halfling, who has their hands outright and clouds above her heads with wind symbols.
Ashling's definitely drawing every single one of these, by the way.
And to my players, what I'll say is, do not worry about getting all that down, because I will actually send you those symbols after the episode.
Handouts.
Thank you.
And I will actually post it next week as well for people to see.
Yeah.
on our socials, so you can catch up. Unfortunately,
Playing with artists. Playing with artists.
It's about this time you kind of can hear voices from below as well. I think you're taking some moments in with these five figures kind of carved above this lintel. And there's quite reverence to them. They look like they're quite important. Actually, you've never seen these figures before. This is new.
So they weren't in the other temple at all.
You saw, but you didn't. I mean, you had a good look around, but you didn't get everything because everything hadn't been excavated yet.
Do I recognize any of the symbols, like the 3 stars with the one larger, or the 5 stars being held, or anything like that I could associate them with?
You can make me an Arcana check.
Sure. 13.
Not really. The dragon symbol feels somewhat similar, and you've talked about the cult of the dragon a couple of times, and they were related to the dwarfs, and that name you found before, Thornhammer. So that's one of the cults of the dragon that came out of came out of the Empire, were the ones that rose up to try and overthrow the Emperor. And Eugene's dad and Tythik Perb and others put them down, which is how they got their heroic legacy.
Okie dokie.
Well, I would wager that those are our 5 mages, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
I wonder who the one in the middle is, the one who
The tall one.
seems to be the key figure.
I'd wager that's the druid.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Tall. Look how high these doorways are.
I mean, that does make logical sense.
Yeah.
That's
Fulton's
true.
not had to duck once.
I mean, with those antlers, that's quite impressive.
Yeah.
Cool. You carry on down the stairs, and it gets quite dim and it's quite far down, and you feel you're going down and down and down, and there's a point where you'll start wondering, are we going to come out the bottom of the island?
That'll be a bad time.
And it's about this point in time you can see this light kind of getting hard, this rich blue light from proper daylight coming up from beneath you, and you can hear those voices down there. It's like people chatting. You make the first few steps, and there are a group of people waiting for you at the bottom. A couple of whom are, or one of whom is very familiar, but we'll come to them in a second because they are secondary to what you find. And I'm actually going to cast your attention over to Roll20 again for a second.
If a millipede appears, I swan to John.
It's revenge!
No! Ooh, pretty.
Blimey.
I'm just going to zoom out a little bit so the audience at home can also see.
Oh, look at that.
This is from Stain Carbon Maps, who you also can find on Roll20 and elsewhere.
So pretty.
So you find this opens up into like this quite grassy area, this kind of overrun area, and these platforms you see in front of you are all made from tarnished brass, and they're floating independently of one another. They seem very solid, they're very structured in space, but they are all free floating.
So is the thing that we can see behind them there clouds?
Below you is the sky shield.
Fun.
Probably the closest you've been since you were flying under the forest.
Don't like that.
At the far end is a large onyx cube which is segmented into different sections, all of which are slowly turning in different directions.
Ooh.
It glows soft green. And in the center, about the size of a particular puzzle box, is a little hole.
Whoa.
Standing in front of you as you come down the stairs with this whole kind of like expression of, oh my god, what is this? Is a very familiar looking human male. Dressed in very plain clothes at the moment, in fact quite neat and presentable. Still with his spectacles like firmly attached to his nose, is the intelligent looking Abir Galsin, the senator of Fessaline and the head teacher, the head of Art Antiquities and Ancient Research, who you met at the Grand Ball. And he is smiling, and it kind of waits for you, lets you sort of take it in for a second, and he's smiling, just smiling with that whole sort of like, I know, isn't it? Isn't it just
Is he standing on one of the platforms?
Yeah.
Mad bitch. What's he doing?
Standing next to him is another Fearbolg. This one slimmer than Fulton, older, with little tiny touches of grey in their hair and fur, with a very gentle demeanour and only one arm, one of which looks like it was lost at the elbow. Fulton, you know who this is, of course, and they raise their good arm and just like wave to Fulton. There's another number of different humans and other people wandering around, just kind of checking things out and like doing general research, dusting down the plates, doing tests and things like that. This is where you were heading to. It's beautiful, isn't it?
It's
Yeah.
fascinating. I simply must know everything.
I know, and welcome, Eugene. It's really good to see you again, and you, Lord Iskarok, and Ashling as well.
Just Rock is fine. Rock is fine. How long have you been here?
A couple of weeks. Young lady Oriend who had handed it over to us, and we took over from her and her party's investigation with Sid's blessing, and we've been here since.
Can I do a perception check to see if there's any safety precautions in place whatsoever? Like a harness, a net.
When did
anything.
Ashling become safety conscious?
When she realised her hooves are slippy on a ladder, Rob.
I remember that episode.
Yeah. These things are made of brass.
Oh yeah, true. Fair point.
Oh my god. Okay. That's 21.
21. No ropes, but there's some ropes and equipment and things, and there's actually some people who look like they're hanging off the edge at the moment, like tied to things, just looking at it. But you do notice with that high perception that all the researchers are wearing a ring with wings on them at the moment.
She immediately wants to get one of them.
Which
You can't have mine.
Oh yeah.
Which are rings of featherfall, so gives their friends a chance to rescue them.
So you can fall comfortably
As they plummet towards the sky shield, yeah.
As they fall into the shield that will decompose them into atoms.
That's great.
But they have a chance to sort of but people are being careful, and you kind of get the impression that they are very aware of what they're doing, and most of them look like they house some sort of magic user of some kind or another.
Okay, I'm very glad I learned Featherfall.
Alacaster the Fearbolg steps over and kind of hops from plate to plate comfortably and cautiously, and kind of comes over to meet you directly. Well, it is good to meet you finally. I am Alacaster.
Oh, it's very nice to meet you. We've heard a lot of things about you.
Just reaches out and grips Fulton's shoulder in a very sort of fatherly way and just kind of gently pats your neck. you did well, and you have shown so much patience.
I beg your pardon.
Fulton
Is that
gives a
shade?
bit of a sigh, but also a smile, and the same like they're lovely is like it was no trouble at all to outcast it.
Why are the furballs shady as fuck?
They really are, aren't they? They're passive aggressive shady.
Yes, we are very passively aggressively shady.
I love it.
Bryn sends her regards.
Yes. I take it she's not happy about being left behind.
She has tried 7 times now to join you here to come see her for herself.
I will
Damn.
come home, and I will show her this once we know it is safe.
Do you know,
Ooh,
I
we
think
don't know
that
it's safe.
child's got
Okay.
a great future ahead of her.
That child is why I have so many grey hairs. I love her.
She's wicked.
Have you made any headway on just finding out what this is and how it works?
No, we have not. We
You
know
said that with such passion, and I got so optimistic.
I'm getting very mixed messages from your delivery here.
I'm an antiquarian. I like this. A mystery like this is a once in a lifetime experience, and frankly, I'm having the most fun of my life. But yes, I am very frustrated that we have not been able to allocate anything. Also, no written language anywhere.
Nowhere.
None. But
Oh.
this is pre-ascension, but it's late pre-ascension. So this is towards dating with spells and things. We kind of assessed it must be pretty much maybe 200 years to 300 years before the end of the world below. That's quite new by those sorts of standards.
Oh.
Actually, do I know how much he knows? I mean, are we sharing stuff with him, or?
He was in the room with the rest of you when he's part of the organization that works behind the scenes with Rebecca.
Got it. Okay, so that's fine. So I can trust him then. So I'm just going to say to him, well,
With one exception, and
Yeah.
this is me reminding you, the box that the missing puzzle piece came in, that was
Came
delivered
from
to
his-
us, came from his office.
yeah,
Oh
I
yeah.
remembered that, but I wasn't going to mention that in front of other people.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to say to him, well, I mean, it kind of ties in with what we're sort of theorizing, that these were in fact created to hold up or to generate the sky shield. So that would make sense that it was just before they were needed, really.
Yes. Kind of gives you indication that 300 years though indicates that it was less desperate than we thought it was. Maybe they had time to prepare. But the AL that you described didn't incline to me that they had time to prepare. That thing was bestial at the best.
Well, maybe they were repurposed. Maybe the temples already existed, but they were repurposed.
Aha! See, Alacasta? I said somebody else would agree with me on that one. Alacasta just kind of rolls his eyes. I am no expert on these things, but I felt it was purpose-built. It seems to be very purposeful.
To Alacastro, I'm just going to say, have you ever seen a temple that even looks like this?
Never. But
And then what about the symbols that you've seen around? Have you seen them anywhere?
no. These strange figures,
Yeah.
no. The middle one on the stairs may be a half-giant or a firbolg of some kind.
Yeah, they seem quite a bit taller than the others. But then again, the structure of this place seems built for quite tall folk.
I noted that too.
Yeah.
Forgive me. Your name is Alacaster,
That is
correct?
right.
And so we were given some names of the mages who were supposed to protect the Sky Shield, and one of them was a druid named Alacaster.
Ah.
Different Alacaster.
Smile
It's quite a common name.
kind of looks at Fulton. I am the third Alacaster. Alacaster is both a name and a title.
Oh, I see.
When I became head of our people, I gave up my old self and became the Alacaster.
Right. Got ya.
What does the title signify then?
Well, roughly, Guardian.
I mean,
Guide.
that kind of makes sense.
And it is my hopes, it kind of just says, that Fulton will be our next Alacaster.
Hey, Fulton.
If
Going
that
up in
is
the world.
also Fulton's wish.
Oh, wow.
I mean, no pressure, but you know.
And he just says, if the circle deems it, I will do my part.
that and giant millipedes.
So you guys have been here 2 weeks, and you know nothing. I mean,
You call me shady? Wow.
I know. My God, it's apparently contagious.
I realize how that sounds, but I'm just intrigued to know how it is that you've uncovered.
Right, well,
Nothing.
so by process, what we're doing is we're eliminating possibilities. We're making sure accurate readings are made of everything we can so we don't set off any trap. And also, we had to spend the best part of a week getting the actual temple guardians on side.
Just a quick thing. You mentioned traps. Have there been traps? Are there traps?
Oh, yes, there are traps. And they're...
On the platforms?
No, but on this device. Come with me, come here. And kind of like starts walking along the vines, which hold his weight very easily, and kind of hopping between the platforms that he has to and things like that. And
I will follow, but I will also test the vines before I stand on them as I go.
they
I
are.
thought I'm kind of holding some of like Rock's jacket just a little bit. Just like, oh.
Alacaster kind of nods to you, Fulton, and starts to follow as well.
Yeah, Fulton follows along. I assume very sure-stepped across, walking.
You can
on,
just stride.
Oh yeah, walking on vines and narrow branches, etc. I think is second nature.
You all tentatively or comfortably make your way across without any problems. You do notice that every time you step on one of these plates, they feel like you're stepping on solid ground. They don't move. They are held massively in place by whatever spell binds this place together. As you get close to the cube, from behind it, 3 metal shapes drift to the front and kind of unfold, creating like a very vaguely humanoid form in this long, sort of like almost liquid silver shape, and then kind of drift and look, and then they kind of settle on Alacaster and a beer, nod, and then just drift back.
I assume those are the temple guardians you mentioned.
Yes, took a little while to convince them we didn't mean any harm.
How did you convince them?
Well, mostly, and I'm quite fond of this one, we have a couple of spells that allow you to read minds between us, and we kind of got the impression that they're actually not here to prevent people coming in, they're here to prevent harm coming to the temple. And as soon as they figured out we meant no harm, they're happy to leave us alone. But new presences have to be kind of indicated before they...
Okay.
Have you managed to have any actual communication, as in discourse with them?
Not really. They're only semi-sentient. They're not forgeborn. They're not Sidoric. They're similar, but they're kind of more functional. It's very interesting. It kind of indicates that pre-ascension, the magical technology was far more advanced than we indicated before.
Well, I have heard stories about that, but I've never seen anything like those.
But yes, so don't try and hurt this obelisk. We're calling it the obelisk because we have no better name for it, frankly. But yes, our 2 weeks have been spent checking for traps, removing any dangerous materials. Had a couple of incidents with those strange draconic creatures, what was left of them, but they seem to be...
Yes, we did hear about that.
Yeah, seem to be leftovers rather than another unit. Yes. So, it kind of all comes down to all this, really. Do you have any ideas that we haven't? And you're going to need time to look at it, I'm sure. There seems to be something missing from here, and he kind of taps that hole.
I'm going to immediately just ignore that he tapped the hole and just go, well, no, I definitely think we need to sort of have some time to have a look around and, perhaps discuss and see before we sort of
I think
jump into
Eugene's
anything.
already taking a closer look. He cannot wait any longer.
I think you're allowed to kind of have a look around and things.
I'm gonna check in with Alabaster and be like, haha,
Yes.
that,
Yes. Don't you want to?
well, that, there's not every piece in the box. What if it explodes? What if there's something very, very bad that happens? I can't, no, but I want to, but no.
Go on.
No!
You want to, though, don't you?
That's a terrible idea!
Oh, come on.
It's no! Stop
Come
it!
on, it'll be fun.
No!
Also,
such trouble.
we'll get some answers, and I really want some answers, don't you?
I can't just bloody do it!
Sure you can. You have the key. It goes in the lock. Turn the lock.
But it's not got all the bits in it yet.
Yeah, it feels like it's all right, though. I mean, it feels powerful, doesn't it?
Yeah, but what if it's not?
It feels like it's all right. Oh, well, it's fine then.
How about this? I'll put it in, and you can claim no responsibility for it.
Abso-fucking-lutely not.
Is Ashley
Absolutely
just
not.
totally eyes in the sky?
I am gesturing a lot.
She is staring at that hole in the
Dungeon
obelisk
bees.
and dungeon being.
It's like voguing.
Fulton leans over and goes, eggs.
Oh, what?
Just seeing
No.
that obviously there's some sort of debate happening in her head.
Absolutely not. I'm gonna go to Rock. Just sort of hide next to him like a kid that's been scared. But
it's fine. I'm sure it's fine. Eugene, do you have any... What?
Alabaster wants me to put the box in the thing.
But now?
I think that's a bad idea. But he says yes.
Why do you think it's a bad idea?
Because I haven't got all the pieces in the box yet, and what if it explodes and everyone falls and dies?
That's a very valid fear. Why does he think it's a good idea?
I don't know, he just said he thinks it'll be fine.
Fuck about and find out.
I don't want to fuck about and find out.
Can I investigate the hole?
Yeah, absolutely. Make an investigation check for me.
Make a hole check.
Make a hole check. Check the hole.
24 on the hole check. It's a hole.
It's a hole. It is perfectly shaped for the alabaster puzzle box.
Okay.
it has connectors and things that look like they may come into play if it is turned.
I will come up and
Would I
stand next
have-
to Eugene and just sort of give him a bit of side eye and be like,
I think Rock will definitely telepathically just say to Eugene, but probably conference calling Aisling in, just kind of say,
I'm CC'd in.
yeah, Eugene, it's obviously meant for the puzzle box to go in there. Is this something we want to be doing?
Yeah, you're the smart one.
How am I supposed to know? Would I have any idea, like looking at the way it, like you said, it had like connectors and stuff, like would I have any idea of if we put the box in, is it just going to open a door, or is it going to like turn something off that like everyone's going to fall to their death?
That's
that's what I'm worried
really
about.
Good question.
That's what I'm worried about, because everything's just floating.
I mean, Aisling does have a point that the box isn't finished yet, but
I'm thinking. Just hang on.
now you know what Aisling feels like with voices in her head all the time.
I'm thinking.
Oh, I thought you were going to say thinking. I was like, that's not right.
No, that doesn't.
Let's go out.
No, don't be ridiculous.
Hello, how are we all doing?
Shut up.
You'll hear Alabaster's voice in your head.
What? Oh, dang.
We
Hi.
all do.
Yes,
You all hear him.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wait, how are you in my head?
I know, what's going on?
I'm piggybacking. It's fun.
That's rude.
Wait, you
Why-
can do that?
Well, I
Data
mean,
protection.
they keep breaking into my private sanctum inside your head. I thought I'd say hello.
I'm just communicating with Aisling. Now all three of us are standing around looking at his face.
I think it's at this point that Alabaster kind of turns and leans into Fulton and goes, "Are they always like this?"
More often than not, but it's better than when they're talking out loud.
Oh my god.
Alabaster, why do you think that Aisling should use the box now when it's not finished?
Because it's mostly finished, and we need answers. Never going to find out more about the temples.
I mean,
at
what
this
else are
stage.
we going to do? The hole is box shaped. Nothing else is going to open the door but the box. We either put it in and see what happens, or we go home with no answers. And that seems
Aisling
like a
puts the
terrible
box in.
option.
So, from where you're standing, Aisling leans into her bag of holding and pulls out this large, kind of this sort of size, white stone box.
I have.
Wait, did I get any idea of what will happen?
Yeah.
Based
it's
on-
hard to say. You can only work on the logic of what you would do to build something like this. And if you're going to save the world, having an off switch that easily accessible, not a great design idea. You kind of assume that it must open something, because there has... Whatever is causing this all to be here kind of work, and whatever is connected to how the Sky Temples work is not physically in front of you. This is... You kind of get the impression this is kind of like an access point.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't find out more until you unlock what the access point allows.
Do it, Ashley.
Oh, I've
Put the
already
box
done
in
it.
the hole for science.
For science.
So, Fulton, you watch this white stone alabaster stone box comes out of the bag of holding, and Aisling
I flick some crumbs off of it.
moves
Cheese.
Wipe some cheese.
Yeah.
Turns it and kind of looks at this hole, and I think it's this. Abir is kind of like talking to one of the researchers about what to do, and just catches and this bright eyes of like its excitement as you watch Aisling push it in.
Rock is going to, as Aisling's doing that, Rock is going to place one hand grabbing Aisling's shoulder, one hand grabbing Eugene's shoulder, and I am readying my wings.
Ah, nice.
Corey, you popping your wings first, or you just
Yep.
getting ready? Yeah.
As soon as
Pop the
Aisling
wings
is
first.
actually sliding it in, I am actually bamfing the wings
You
out and
see
holding
a
them.
vine go off of Fulton's, like around Fulton's wrist, and twines up around some of the vines that are growing around here in case the floor does fall out. And I think probably has a hand on Alacaster as well.
I think
Because I don't want to get the office this way.
Not like this.
I think Alacaster kind of nods to you, but you can see that like there's little feathers kind of sprinkles just kind of popping just out the edge of his skin, just in case.
Mm-hmm.
Seconds stretch into moments as you watch almost in slow motion as Aisling pushes the stone box in. There is a grating clunk, and it goes away from her hands on its own. Inner parts of the stone suddenly break free and start turning. The box itself turns in opposite direction. 3, 2 times. Almost mechanical, like it's remembering something that it's supposed to do. And the box comes free, floats back to Aisling's
Oh, thank God.
hand, settles down, and you watch as the stone stops moving. And with a deafening creak and crunch, it pulls apart, revealing a ashy grey portal.
Ooh.
You are all standing there. I think, says Alacaster, that the next part of your journey is for these 3 to start with. You can see Abir kind of go, but fine, but I really want a detailed notes. He kind of looks at Eugene particularly. Every detail you can find, everything. I need to know exactly what you can to me. Are you ready to step into the unknown?
Oh yeah. Let's go.
Yes.
It's a bit late to say no now.
Yeah.
Fulton, your mission is over. I thank you, but I will wait for them now.
It is my duty to serve. I shall return to Sib for whatever lies ahead.
Oh, are you not coming, Fulton?
Looks right at you. No.
Okay.
Deserves a break from us.
That's understandable.
I mean, thank you very much, Fulton. You did get us through an entire, quite terrifying jungle and some alarmingly huge creatures without dying. So we are most appreciative.
Yeah, thank you.
You're most welcome. You should go.
This reminds me of, if anyone else has watched Schitt's Creek, when David ends up with the Amish and they just want to get rid of him. This is what it reminds me of.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Any last words of wisdom for your friends?
Fulton's being asked that?
Yeah.
I look right at Aisling. Eggs.
No! Can I go through the portal, please?
You can. And with that, Aisling steps through the portal. It ripples like a water puddle being hit and settles again.
Well, here we go. And I'm just going to wave at everyone and step through.
I guess I'll follow. Thanks again, Fulton. I'll be sure to look with more
Take
than
care
my
of them.
eyes.
Yes. Take care of them. They
Oh,
need you.
thanks. And he just walks through.
I think mainly because Eugene has been like the least amount of trouble.
Oh, yeah,
Yep,
true.
that's Eugene. The
You're the
least
good
amount
kid.
of trouble.
Oh.
Fulton's doing that thing where he's just like, oh, look at the time, gosh.
Yep.
Alacaster will turn to Fulton. I will open a tree. Sib must know what you have seen.
I will report back and give her your regards, as well as everyone else.
And as the two Fairborg walk away, the rest of the researchers set up a perimeter and start weaving defensive wards, just in
Around
case.
this Stargate that we've somehow opened.
Yeah, just in case what comes
Somehow?
out.
You stuck the box in, somehow opened.
Somehow, it just, I don't know.
This strange portal to somewhere else does not spit back out our three friends, but something else. And that is where we're going to leave it for this year.
Oh my god, of course. Shit.
Dear. This has been immense fun. I can tell you nothing because it's all a surprise for the new year.
Oh my
God
goodness.
damn it.
Well,
I'm going
there
to
we
demand
go.
answers next weekend.
Before anything else, Jay, thank you so much for
Thank you,
joining
Jay.
us the last couple
What
of
an absolute pleasure it has been. I don't often get to be this shady and salty. And
Welcome.
it's like usually
to
I'm like
Summer.
Mr. like hopeful paladin dude, and now this was just like such a fun turn for me. And
No,
you
if
know,
you-
Cathartic experience.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to play shady and side-eyed and stuff, then this is definitely the game to play it in.
you all truly are just been a complete pleasure, and I've felt so welcome at your table. And thank you for having me. It was great.
No,
Oh,
I've
thank you for joining
loved
us.
every minute of you joining us. It's been absolutely brilliant, and a long time coming as well, which is really, really cool.
And Fulton was amazing.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I guess.
I mean, love/fearful.
Yeah.
Ashling
It's a
doesn't
fine
ever
line,
want
right?
to bump into him again.
He's okay with. Brock's okay with that fine line. Fear.
Jay, could you tell us where we can find you and what you have got coming up at the moment?
Yeah. You can find me all over the interwebs as Tall Squall across most all social media platforms, including some of the new ones. And basically, the biggest thing that I've got going on is my book, Legacy of the Vermilion Blade, is out. It's self-published through Kindle Direct Publishing. If you go to my Twitter, the pinned tweet will take you on a link to Amazon, where you can get it either for your Kindle or other e-readers. Paperbacks or hardcovers are even available now. So, and 100% of the net proceeds, profits, go to the Trevor Project to help out kids, LGBTQIA kids who are in need and need a helping hand. So do check out both Trevor Project and if you want to, check out my book.
I
The
did forget
link
to mention
is
as
in
well,
the chat.
the cover is stunning. I remember looking at it the other day and I was like, ooh.
Yes, it was done by, oh golly, stand by. Of course you asked me and then I lose my
Oh,
brain
no.
locks up.
No.
Keep going. I will come back. I will tell you
That's
who
right.
the artist was.
The Amazon link is actually in chat at the moment, so please click on there and have a look. Trevor Project, globally, such an amazing charity, do such important work supporting queer people like ourselves, everybody in this show today. All of us could have benefited and can benefit from the support and advice and love that they give. Frankly, you should read the book because it's just very good. It's just really, really good. And I am looking forward to a sequel.
Jamie Black was the Jamie. Oh no, well I guess there kind of has to be a sequel. So when you put a one on the side of the cover, because it's, first of a series. But it is Jamie Flack, who is the amazing artist who did the cover and was incredible to commission and work with, taking my just convoluted ideas and solidifying them into something that wasn't just a muddy mess, which is what it what it would have been if he would have looked as I photoshopped like 10 different things together and said, I want all this included.
That's awesome.
You're talking to 3 illustrators that do this kind of thing all the time.
Yeah. I get a lot of client thumbnails that are just chaos, and I love it.
I love fun thumbnails, though. That just really help, though. It's like, it
Yeah,
excites
me
me.
too.
It's like, you know what you want. That's great.
Yeah.
I'll have to send you my what the original me like putting things together of being like, I want all this stuff to be fit in there. I'll send it to y'all just for laughs.
Yeah, totally.
I have to say, having done a couple of book covers, the initial briefs are always very amusing because there's like 9 million things, and then they usually finish it off by saying, but I'd like it really clean and minimalist.
Yes.
Yeah.
I actually wasn't even he came back to me and said, you really need to make this clean and minimalist. It's like, settle down.
Amazing. Yeah. Please do stop Bars. Have a look and do consider buying that book. It is really, really cool. I mean, Christmas is coming up. Amazon delivery could get you a hard copy in time. Just saying. Wayne, would you like to go next?
Sure. My name is Wayne, as you all know. And you can find me on most of the socials as WayneFic01 for now. And my website is waynefic.com. So please do give me a follow and say hi on socials and stuff. It would be lovely to connect with you. And just from me to say thank you to everybody who is here today and who has supported us and been along with us for this ride this year. But do come along next week and have a fireside chat with us.
Yes, very much looking forward to that. Theo, could you go next, please?
I can. I have been Theo this whole year.
What? Plot
Yeah.
twist?
I
What
know.
the hell, dude?
Oh, it's Theo all along.
Wig reveal.
Well, actually, I wasn't, but that's another story. You can find me at theoblueillustration.com. There are links to all good English. My other social medias on there if you wish to follow me. It's mostly just pictures of cats at the moment, but you know, who doesn't like cats? Well, some people, but they're weird. Anyway, getting rambly.
Brilliant, yes.
Thank you everyone for watching us this year. It's been great, and I've been very privileged to spend so much time with these lovely folk and with all of you guys in chat.
Amazing.
Back at you.
Yeah, definitely back at you. Thank you so much. Charlie, your turn.
Cool. All my stuff's at charlievince.com. The socials are just some variation of Charlie Vince somewhere. It's a pretty niche name. You'll be able to find me. And I have my shop and my portfolio and things on there. And yes, thank you, Wayne. I do have my Twitch channel where I occasionally go on there and draw things. So follow that to find out when I'm doing it, because that's probably the same time I'm finding out I'm doing it. So we're in this together.
That's fair enough.
And yeah, just to echo what everyone else has said, this has been so much fun this year. We've had such an awesome time broadcasting our chaotic bullshit to you, and we've loved it. And I can't wait to do so much more of it. And I look forward to this every single weekend. It's definitely one of those things that has not in any way become something. You know, when you commit to something and you kind of start resenting it every now and then. Everything. No part of that has kicked in with this at all, and I'm amazed because I have
All my
very
other
little
things, but
patience.
not this.
Yeah, literally everything. In the moment, I'm like, yeah, that sounds great, amazing, and then it comes to it, and I'm like,
See, Theo, you
That's-
get it.
That's one of the reasons. It's one of the reasons I love this group is because I used to think I was the only weird one who did things like that by going, yeah, let's do that, and then immediately going, oh, I don't really want to do that.
oh,
Like,
no,
I
have
made
to
those
do
plans
that.
when I was an extrovert, and now I'm in introvert mode. So just is an error. But no, I look forward to every single weekend. So thank you
Also-
everyone who watches and subscribes.
Also,
And thank
hi,
you,
Charlie's
Chris,
mum.
for oh yeah, hi mum, love you mum.
Hi,
Hi,
Charlie's
Charlie's
mum.
Mum.
And big thank
Terrible.
you to Chris as well. You're the best DM. This has been
Thank you.
such a good time. Your stories are amazing, and we're so invested.
And we love you, so please don't kill us next year.
Please, please.
Oh dear, I have no intention. If you guys kill yourself, that's on you. I just let the dice tell the story.
Hold
I
on,
mean, I
hold
did
on,
have a
hold on.
moment. I did have a
Don't
moment
kill
of thinking
self.
Fulton was going to kill me, but
That's why I rolled for insight to see if we were about to get socked in the face.
Hi, I am Chris Mepham. You can find me on pretty much everything related to me, chrismepham.com/links, which has all my socials in there. Or I am at Chris Mepham RPG everywhere that I am at the moment. Also, at Some of the Heroes everywhere at the moment. We're all still trying to figure it out. It's all a bit weird. Everything seems to have settled back down, but we'll see.
We haven't verified our OnlyFans account yet, so don't follow us.
That's a very different type of role.
Oh my God.
Charlie.
I'm sorry. There is something amazingly fantastic about the idea of Some of the Heroes having an OnlyFans account and just seeing the disappointment on people's faces when they
Oh
follow.
my god.
It's Dice ASMR.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
all it is.
Dice ASMR. It's the most wholesome OnlyFans out there.
Very Christian OnlyFans.
I am so honoured to be able to play with so many amazing people. Definitely my main 3 cast members, but also wonderful guests like Jay, like Michelle, like Alicia, and obviously Jakey, who all spent time both on stream and off stream with me developing their characters and helping me build the world as well. I love this stream. I love doing this. I love that we've connected with people, and I think you're all wonderful. I think the community is wonderful, and I'm loving watching you all grow and enjoy and share this together. I'm probably feeling a little emotional because big stream end of the year, but I do mean it. I really do.
But we're here next weekend.
We are here next weekend for weird questions, which I will probably spend a lot of the time evading.
No, I won't. I'll have them.
Yeah, we will be back next week with Fireside Chat. So please give us all your questions. Anything that if like weird, wonderful, funny, silly. You know what we're like. We will have a go at any question we can in the weirdest way we can.
We don't have filters.
No, we do not. You are wonderful people. We love you. We love doing this with you. We are back next week for a Fireside Chat, and we are back in the new year to find out exactly what has happened to our 3 heroes.
Bye.
Take care of each other. Have an amazing holidays if we don't see you next week, and we will catch you soon. Mwah.
Mwah.